All right, what is going on, guys? Ooh, my cam got switched a little bit. How y'all doing today? There we go. All right, you guys didn't want to see my torso. That's not something you need to see. How's it going, guys? How are you doing? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good day. We have been running on fumes today. We had a 6 a.m., well, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time flight that we hit. Something we're going to talk about a lot today is bowling trade show that I was at, Classic Products Bowling Trade Show. We're going to talk about the future of bowling because there was a ton of leaders from every different company that you can imagine that were giving a lot of takes on bowling, on everything going on in the bowling sphere. So we're going to talk about a lot of that today. Really, really exciting. We got a lot of people already hanging out. Welcome everybody. Who we all got? Big Mike, what's going on? James, Chuckle, what's up? Pinspired, how you doing? Kai hanging out, what's going on, Kai? Andy, what's up? James, what's going on? Tim, Suter, Big Mike might be moving to Duluth. Nice, that's awesome. Duluth's an awesome town. Really, really cool city. It gets cold a lot all the time, pretty much. It's freezing, so be ready for that. But great city overall, so that's gonna be fantastic. David, JC Bowler is the first one to post a pineapple today. We did have a apology video from him today. Well, we might have talked about that one just a wee little bit. Let's see who else we got hanging out. Let's see, David, two-handed channel. What balls are similar to the DNA coil? I think the Equinox is going to be the closest you're going to find on the market right now. The Identity is close-ish, but I think Equinox is going to be your best bet. David, you helped me a lot. Thanks as always. Absolutely, David. You're really welcome. I'm glad. That's the goal here. Our goal is to be able to help you out in any way possible. James, it's the last night of Summer League. You pick my Arsenal for tonight. Pick a number between 1 and 7. 5. 5. Jeff Whaley, did you see they were making fun of your durometer video on Brunsnick and Phil's show? Really? I'm not surprised. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I have talked to a lot of people about the urethane videos in the last week or so. I actually had a really good conversation with Brian Buckosh, who's a core designer over at Brunswick, and he's much nicer about this conversation than, of course, I can't imagine. I don't watch Nick and Phil's show anymore. It's not great. And I'm curious what they all said, but it was a fun video. It was entertaining. The durometer was cool, I was able to see hardness and all that, and there's no proof saying that any of it is not factual. So, but Brian Buckosh had a lot of cool things to say about it, of like, well, there might be some issues going on because of XYZ, and he had good points. However, it's stuff that's impossible for me to actually check, which is, well, we can talk about that in a bit too, because I'm guessing that's going to be, yeah, if I've already been talked about today at a live stream, it's going to be a fun one. But let me get everything going over on TikTok quick. Let's see that button. There we go. We'll do that and hit the go live button. All right, who else we got? Gabriel, what is going on? Good to see you, man. Lucky for you, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. That's disgusting for my 10 a.m. shift. That is so disgusting. I'm sorry for that. I'm so sorry for that. I was up at 3:15 Pacific time today because I had a flight out of Vegas at 6 a.m. and I was at the Golden Nugget, for anybody who knows where that is in Vegas. It's right next to Circa, where this whole trade show was going on, and it was a heck of a lot cheaper than staying at Circa. So was up very early to hit an Uber to get to the airport. Let's see. Kickstand Kurt, what's up? Summer League is over. It's good to be back watching on Wednesdays. It is great to have you back, Kurt. We love having you back here. For that. Suitor, apology is a strong word. Yeah. Unfortunately, accountability was not something that was really taken on Darren's part. It was more like the brands told me I had to say this, which I would like it, in all celebrity and everything. When you see a celebrity mess up, you're going to see them issue a formal apology, and that's usually what you have to do when you're a big name. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that yet. I partially expected it, just even if he didn't feel it, like just say the words "I'm sorry" is usually what a lot of people who don't believe they did wrong do, because at the end of the day, we all think we're heroes in our own story, and we all are always going to think we're right. But yeah, that was interesting. It was an interesting video. Two-handed channel. What about the Attention Star? Attention Star is goated. Absolutely. I think it's too weak to be similar to the DNA coil. The DNA coil was stronger than most of us thought it was, by a bit. Let's see. Luke Mueller, how good is this shock? Really, really good. It is one of the best balls ever made, and it is factual. It is very true. It's just unique. It's arguably one of the more unique bowling balls on the market. No one's been able to replicate it. No one's been able to reverse engineer it. It is a really, really good piece, and I recommend trying it at some point. In some way, shape, and form, I always recommend trying a Phase 2, trying an IQ2, or trying a Venom Shock at some point, and a Black Widow, I think, in there as well. Are always good ones to at least attempt. All right, we are officially live on TikTok. TikTok, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody over there. We are at 20,000. We reached 20,000 followers a couple of days ago. Huge thank you to everybody over on TikToks for helping us get to that crazy milestone. Really, really appreciate it. I know these live streams are always hit or miss on TikTok because TikTok has its own wonky algorithm. But if you guys could drop a like on the video as well, it'd be help, or on the TikTok stream or the YouTube stream or the Facebook stream or the Twitch stream. I'd really appreciate it. Well, let's keep going. Harrison, what is going on over on that side? How you doing? Bayou Bengal, we won our Sports Shot League. Congrats, man. Purple Hammer felt like cheating. I think it was, God, it's everybody who bowls a Sports Shot League always realizes, like, man, I can throw the purple on everything. I mean, Dallas Long this weekend, shout out Dallas, he killed it. He beat Simo in the finals of the New Mexico Open. 47 feet, basically a 1-to-1 pattern, 35 mils, Purple Hammer. That is like the exact opposite. That's the exact opposite of what you should use on that. One of the most interesting things I heard at the trade show over this week, it was from one of the higher ups at Kegel, who had a really good point saying, we have tried to make patterns to like be able to make urethane fair. It's nearly impossible. At the end of the day, it's nearly impossible, which is crazy to think. And that's from the top of the top, or one of the big dogs from Kegel, the #1 oil pattern brand, and or oil brand. And it's just so difficult. It's so difficult, which is crazy. So that's where that can be used. Absolutely. Let's see. Big Mike. I mean, Brunswick will always comment to the Brunswick urethane hardness, softness because he works for them. And the only people who will take every word he says without a grain of salt are the loyalists. Yeah. That's one of the big things I asked Buckosh, when he was hitting me up on this topic is like, yes, that's awesome that this all sounds great, but we need proof. We need definite evidence because the only tests that have ever come out have been USB-C, PBA, creating the difference, and now me with a cheap durometer. And that's it. Like, it's fine that he can go and spout. It's fine that he can go and spout all this, but Brunswick doesn't have a PR area or a marketing area, which he ironically works in, that actually comes out and gives reason. It's usually him saying, all these people are idiots. Like, you don't say that, first of all. Like, don't be a jerk. But second, why? Why is it? Show proof, show evidence. We have tested this in our lab. Here are our numbers, instead of just, we don't think this is true. And that's the toughest thing in bowling right now, is like, there's a lot of feel, a lot of vibes, and not really much proof. And the proof is where everything is. And unfortunately, that side hasn't really shown that proof quite yet. Brandon, did you go down the shark slide? No, I did not. I did not go down the shark slide, unfortunately. I should have. I didn't actually, I barely was there for 24 hours. So I didn't really do much. I went to Circa, gambled a little bit, went to Golden Nugget, gambled a little bit, ate, went to the trade show, and that was it. That was my entire 24 hours. Paul H. Theorem Solid, Crown Victory, or Hypnotize. Suggestion on the Pearl Sim. If you're going to Pearl Sim, you got to go with the Crown Victory. The other ones are just much, much stronger. Gabriel, have you tried the Ultra Paradise Monster? I thought it was weird. Ultra Paradise is the... Which one is that again? Monster Ultra... Is that the green one? I'm not a fan of the green one. I don't think it's that great, personally. I think there's much, much better flavors out there. Much, much better flavors. All right, let's see. Andy, does pin up or pin down matter for a symmetrical ball? Speed dominant, yes. Pin up is going to make it hook earlier and just hook more in general. I'd recommend pin up to start, Andy. All right, let me catch up over here again. Harrison, what's the stream about? Harrison, we are talking everything from everything and anything bowling. So we should do, I didn't really do well at an intro. Apologies for that. But hello, my name's Zach. Great to see all of you here today. We have a lot of people hanging out already. Huge thank you to all of you. Today, we are going to be talking anything and everything bowling. We always have a full bowling Q&A going on with these live streams. So ask any and any bowling or non-bowling questions that you have for me that I can try to help answer. And we also, this week, were at the Classic Products Trade Show. They are a distributing company. They're the middleman between, Storm, Brunswick, Motive, and Pro Shops. And they had this massive show. They had all of the major brands there. You had Storm, Motive, Brunswick. You had KR Strike Force, Dexter. You had Turbo. You had Vice. You had everybody there, except for Jopo. I don't know why Jopo wasn't there. That was a little weird. But everybody else was there. So, yeah, it was very fun to see what that all was. There was a really cool roundtable discussion on tariffs, on urethane, and then just general stuff. And it was with some of the biggest names in the business, like Corey Dykstra, Brunswick CEO, was there, which was kind of crazy. Hank Boomershine, I think he's officially CTO maybe of Storm at this point. He was there. You had a lot of high ups from other brands there who were able to talk about all of these cool things in the bowling world. So there's a lot of other things that we can hit on. And what I was able to learn a little bit through the bowling space, which was really, really cool to hear. I think it was really cool to have all these people in one spot answering a ton of questions. But yeah, that is what we are talking about today. Is there any update on the USB-C urethane ban or urethane situation? So what I learned is that we will have an answer by October. At the end of this month, there is a committee that is giving a recommendation to USB-C about like what they think should happen, and that's with a lot of higher ups in the industry. But no one really knows. They're assuming by October is when we should have some kind of idea. But no one has any idea where it's going. No one has any idea, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Luke Cohen, rate my Arsenal. Ion Pro Solid, Phase 2, Road Warrior, Hyperdrive, Ion Max, and Electrify. Yeah, it looks good overall. You have a lot of solids. You only have you have 2 weak pearls, so you might need a new, stronger pearl if you want something else. Ooh, Luke, watch out for the spamming, by the way, Luke. You don't send a question or the same exact thing every 4 seconds. That's not a good idea. Let's see what else we got over here. What's all the controversy here? Yeah, Harrison, I made a video for urethane hardness with a durometer, which I actually have right here. It was a really fun video to see like the hardness of different bowling balls, mainly for fun because it was a $30 durometer off Amazon, but it showed some pretty interesting stats. All my urethanes came in softer. All my reactives came in harder. The Motive Tank Blitz came in super, super hard. So that was interesting to see. People at Brunswick didn't like it. Not people, I should say, main public figure of Brunswick didn't like it. The other guys, it's kind of, they didn't like some of it, but get where I was coming from. Let's see. Joe, can't get my hands on the Widowmania Solid. Ooh, yeah, I can't imagine how hard that thing's going to get. I cannot imagine how hard that thing's to find. Hey, Too Tall, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Cody, my Crown Victory is sharp at the end. Yeah, it is very angular. Crown Victory is one of the more angular balls in the market right now. Luke, I'm shocked you got my name right. Yeah, no, there's actually, your last name is common in the area I grew up in Minnesota. So yeah, I knew a few people with your last name, so I know how to say it right. Big B, what's going on? Chris, where would the Overseas Virtual Reality Pro X2 fit near other balls? What'd you say it was? Shape lock, non-AI core, DNA cover. Oh, way earlier than the coil, the identity. It's way earlier than all of those if it's a solid. So it'll be before every single one of those guys. Yeah, TBC, Tall Bowlers Club. Andy Peckies, what should I do to update my Arsenal list and resubmit? I would recommend either sending me an email. I have my ZVL Bowling email and all my descriptions, and just say, hey, update to, and then give your full name. That might be the easiest way. James D, the bag you picked is a 2-ball bag with a couple of gems, the Rogue Assassin and Ripcord Flight. Hey, great choice on my part. IKEA official, what is going on? Totally the official IKEA account. Row BA Bowling High Street, 44 feet, 25 mils, lefty two-hander. EJ Jackler Hysteria, Primal Raid, Super Clutch, Sub-Zero. Yeah, you'll probably just be able to throw the EJ and be fine. Big Mike, I don't understand why Brunswick wouldn't spend some of their money in order to get this tested. I think they know it will come back, something they don't want to see. I feel like they have tested it. The way it sounds is they have tested this in their labs, but they have not publicized it. And I'm guessing they don't have definitive proof because, like, what Buckosh told me to do is he recommended I sand my ball, I think it was once or twice, do a full resurface, and then rub a spot with 99% isopropyl alcohol to be able to get all of the urethane or all of the oil off of that spot, and then try the hardness test again, and it should come back at 73. Now, getting 99% IPA is not a cheap thing, and I've already spent 30 bucks on a durometer, so why would I buy a bottle of that stuff? Because I have no use for it otherwise. Which is like, that's apparently what they are seeing brings it back to regular softness or hardness. But I'm getting that through him, through comments and through DMs, not really through official sources. So I don't think a lot of the guys, unfortunately, can have much to stand on if there's no proof. I'm a big proof guy. I'm a math nerd. I'm a data nerd. If you don't have proof, there's no reason to believe it, unfortunately. So that's the big one with the urethane topic, is like, whatever it may be, if we have proof, unbiased proof of one side or the other, it's what we need. Cody Hobman, why can they try to change what chemical that makes urethane get softer? So the hard thing with cover stocks, which I'm learning a lot more, is it's the Wild West. Bowling ball cover stocks, there's very few rules with how to make it. You can do anything. USBC has never really put in rules for what you can and can't do with cover stock technology. They have with cores, they've put on upper limits, which is good, needed. They haven't done anything with cover stock. So you can do whatever you want. So if the chemical makeup is something super unique and like wild, that's fine. They can do that and no one can bat an eye, which is crazy. Like the level, for example, is probably super wonky, or we know the Purple Hammer is just absurd in a lot of ways and no one else can mimic what that ball does. That could be the cover stock. It's probably not the core because we know the numbers and can see what the core is, but there's a lot of other things for it. So like, it's hard. It's tough. There's just no rules on it. We should have a bowling summit between you, Nick, and Phil. Time to let go. Oh, I'm in 100%. I will publicize this forever. I will gladly have sit-down conversations with anybody and everyone in the bowling realm, whether it be those two on their podcast, whether it be any bowling ball manufacturer like a Brunswick, a Storm, a Motive guy, a KR guy. I will gladly have a public interview with you guys whenever about anything. So if you know of anybody, let me know and shoot them a note, because I've been ghosted like 5 times. I've been ghosted by those guys 2 times. I've been ghosted by a couple other companies. So you know that, let me know. Because I think that's something that the bowler needs. Bowlers don't have that. And I think that's a point that the companies could really benefit from, is actually talking to bowlers. Because I don't get insider information. At the end of the day, I get none. So a lot of the stuff I'm saying is from your guys' POV. Kronman, thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch. Really appreciate it, man. Remember, make sure to drop a subscription or a follow on whatever platform you're on. It's the best way to stay notified for any ZVL stuff, and it's the best way to help support the channel. Help us continue to grow, to be able to put more videos out and put more time and effort and money into them. But let's keep going. Also, IKEA Official, thank you so much for the follow. Do you have the Cove? I do have the Cove. Yes, I'm a fan of it. I think it needs to be polished. I think it needs to be polished or shiny. I don't think a dull Cove is a good idea. It just hooks too early and it's too smooth for a lot of situations, but I think polished, it could be really good on house shots. And I'm going to be trying that probably next Tuesday is going to be my hope, because we're putting out a new house shot at my local center, so we're going to try that. Robert Young with $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Robert. Glad to have you here. Let's see. What'd you say? Good to see you, man. The New Mexico Open was rough, but hey, great experience. Hey, that's perfect. I'm glad it was a good experience. Some of those tournaments, like the hard thing with bowling is you're going to get bashed in. You are going to get destroyed. You are going to lose a lot before everything starts clicking and you start making those good runs. It's tough. It's demoralizing, but as long as you learn, that is fantastic. So good job. I'm really happy that you were able to go out there and bowl and all that. That's fantastic. Let's see. Brendan Shepard, what ball would you recommend for heavy oil if I'm newer to throwing a hook? Let's see. Did you have a second comment? Yeah. You've heard Ion Max, Jackal, and Ethos are great options. Yeah, there's a ton of really good options. If you're newer, I would recommend something a little bit weaker. Go with like a Phase 2. Go with like that Ethos Solid, like somebody mentioned, I think is a good play. Something like that, because I don't think you need the top of the top, especially if you just started, because your form might improve, your rev rate might increase, things like that. But really hope that helps. Let's see. David, what is different? Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Sealands, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Pinspired, I bought the EJ Jackal. Want to build a league bag around it. What are your suggestions? Righty, 320 to 350 revs, 12 to 15 mile an hour. So pretty balanced, maybe a little bit rev dominant if you're closer to that 13 mile an hour speed, 12 mile an hour speed. I would, if you want to stick with motive, get a Venom Shock for sure. I'd recommend a Venom Shock. And then I'd recommend something like a Primal Rage Evolution. I think that can be a good 3-ball bag. Jess, what is going on? Jess, started my Sport Shot League. First pattern is PBA Salvino. What would you recommend? Salvino is just middle of the road length, so I'd say a little straighter, up 10 to 14, 15 with some kind of smoother and duller bowling ball. Big B, why is the ball's absorption rate important? I heard faster is better, but don't really understand why. Is it because the ball stabilizes quicker and gives consistent ball motion? So the main reason that oil absorption is important is because the faster the oil absorption is, the less oil that's on the cover of the bowling ball. And if there's no oil on the cover of the ball, it's actually going to hook earlier. That's why it's so important to have really good chamois. Shameless plug. Down in the description. But it's really important to have chamois because if your bowling ball has oil on it, it's going to hook later. It will always hook at a later point than if you take the oil off of it. So if a ball just absorbs oil faster, it's going to hook more, it's going to be more consistent. It's going to hook earlier. It's not going to have those situations where if you don't wipe it off, the ball just never hooks. So that's why that is so important in the game. That's why you saw like the level say, we have the fastest oil absorption rate. Because of that. Now, the one issue with that is that ends up making a ball die out quicker. So the faster the oil absorption rate is, the more oil stays in that cover stock and the quicker the ball dies out on you, because a ball dies because it ends up just absorbing too much oil. Let's see. Gabriel, was it Huff and Puff? No, we did not play any Huff and Puff. I am a Huff and Puff hater for gambling because I've never had good luck in it. At all. I have never had success with Huff and Puff, unfortunately. Firework game, though, not bad this weekend. James, I was thinking of getting the Lethal Venom. I already have the Black Venom, Venom Shock, and Blue Coral. Is that too many solids at the same core level? I would recommend staying away from a Lethal if you don't have things around those other Venoms. I don't think having the same core 3 times is a good idea if you don't have other balls. But I'd recommend some other stuff first. Let's see. What is the difference between original theorem and the theorem pearl? David, the theorem pearl hooks just a little bit later, a little bit sharper than the OG. If you're thinking of buying one, get the original. It is better than the pearl. Brandon Fangman, I know you have a video on it, but if my buddy's pap to pin was measured wrong by an inch, what effect does that have on the ball? So if it was measured by over an inch wrong, then your stuff is an inch stronger. And that means the ball is just going to hook way earlier and way more for him. So it's going to cause more hook out of the ball in general. See, it's Jack. Cool to see the YouTube logo at the stream still looks like it's drawn from MS Paint. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I like this background a lot. I was able to find it and I used a couple logos that I had in Canva. And it was like, yeah, that looks honestly kind of cool. Looks kind of decent. Garrett, when is the match bowler arsenal dropping? It's going to be, I'm hoping next week, but I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of ball announcements next week. Brunswick is going to have announcements definitely next Tuesday because they didn't release anything this past week. And Storm is either releasing info for new balls this coming Friday or next Friday. And then I'm guessing Motive has to release info with that new Primal Ghost soon. I would guess, and I'd guess it'd be next week so that they can release everything in September yet. But I don't know. So if there aren't many ball releases next week, I will have it out. Otherwise, I'll have it out the next Sunday is what it'll be. We actually have a massive video coming out this week on layouts. Everything you ever need to know about a bowling ball layout. It answers every question you'll ever have about dual angle, VLS, and 2LS. It is going to be the one-stop shop for anything and everything layout related. It's going to have why the numbers mean what they mean, what all the numbers mean, examples of what you could use to help solidify your ball reaction to whatever you want it to be, etc., etc., etc. It's like a 30-some minute video, so we'll have something on that. But then right after that will be the matched or a balanced bowler arsenal. Let's see. Dan Tippett, it seems like symmetrical balls are rolling better for me. Will the Sublime Focus give me more right to left than the Axiom Idol in phase 2? No, actually. It's going to be just a little more right to left than the Idol Solid, but less than the phase 2 is where I would see it. Let's see. Arcom, did you hear about the Primal and the Ghost Ball? Would you know what core they would be using? Yeah, it actually leaked a handful of times and is in one of the big bowling books that goes to pro shops. I think that's like the IBBSA or something is the name of it. And I actually confirmed it. I have pictures of it from our local pro shop. It is the Primal Rage Core 255 RG 050 differential. And then it's going to have that Jackal Ghost cover on it. So it's going to have that some weaker symmetrical core with that Ghost cover. So I'm really excited for that one. I would love to hear more. I actually have an email out to Motive, hoping to be able to talk to like a Nick Parr or something about any of the upcoming releases, because I think it'd be really cool to hear more about that ball because it sounds really cool. I think it's something that should get publicized a little more because the Jackal Ghost is goated. The Primal Rages, in my opinion, are their third best core and third best bowling ball in Motive. So honestly, I'd argue second, but third makes more sense. So hopefully he hits me back. Hopefully we hear just a little bit more on that. But Nolan, I'm a two-hander with a phase 2 and an Ion Max. I'd recommend a Pearl Ball next. I'd recommend like an Ember, a Zen, a Road Warrior, High Road 40, something like that. Gary, first-time viewer, what ball do you suggest to fill the strong symmetrical pearl spot in your arsenal? Since my OG Zen, I never found anything to replace it. Zen 25 is going to be really close to the OG Zen. It's going to be the closest we've ever had, so I'd recommend that. But yes, it is. I did see Gabriel. This is lost and found strawberry energy. Because I'm running on about 3.5 hours of sleep and an hour-and-a-half nap, I definitely need this right now. Will I sleep much tonight? I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely need this for right now. BLT Burgers. I love the name, man. I ended up getting another Cove and polish it. I found it better than a dull one. I still like my dull one. I can switch between them while switching to the Ember last game. That's really good to hear. That is awesome to hear. That's what I was kind of hoping for, that it would be a little bit better in that regard. So good to hear that you already tried that. Dan Tippett, Bowler Smart has a Sublime Focus for 130. I think it was discontinued. I don't have proof. I haven't confirmed it, but I think it was discontinued, which makes sense. It fits. That ball's kind of run its course. Bud's Corner about to join a traveling league. Congrats, man. Ion Max, Harsh Pearl, Summit Peak, Ion Pro. Thinking of adding an Attention Star in Phase 2. Phase 2, 100% I think is a good idea. I have Jason, I have a really good comment for you in a bit. And Attention Star, I think would be good. It fits between the Harsh Pearl and the Summit Peak. So I think that could fit as well, but you don't need that one as much. Hey, it's Paul. What's a good weak and sharp bowling ball from the Brunswick brands? The Ivory Rhino is about the only one. Ivory Rhino is the only ball they have in that spot, unfortunately. I wish they had a few more, but they do not. Joe, would you lower the grit on a phase 2 or polish it more or leave it as it is? I personally love it at 2000 grit. I don't have success with it polished. I also don't have success with it at like 500 grit. I think around 2000 is the best play for that ball. Any ball to recommend a burnt out lane for two-hander? You could go with Hustles, Tropical Surges. If you really needed a Rhino or a Bubblegum Vibe or even a Raw, I think some of those really low-end balls will be the play. Brandon, have you tried the Radical Power Hitter? I have not. I have heard nothing about that bowling ball. Absolutely nothing. I have no idea if it's doing well. I have no idea if it's good. Radical has really been ignored for like 2 years. I don't know how their sales are, but it's, I don't know. I'm very curious on if that ball's doing well or not. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything, so I'm not sure. Let's see. I did see Davian. Thank you for the follow over on TikTok. Really appreciate it. And also thank you for the finger hearts. Dimzung. Appreciate it. Nolan, I'm a two-hander with a phase 2 and an Ion Max. Yep, a Pearl Ball would come in best. I think I answered that one. Is it legal to use rubbing alcohol as a cleaner? No, you are not allowed to use rubbing alcohol because that actually softens a bowling ball. So that is something you cannot use. Han, what type of reaction can you expect from the Typhoon during fresh? It's going to hook very, very late and be very sharp. So it's not going to be good for the fresh. Mario WR. Besides cover stock and core, what do you think could be a future tech for a bowling ball? I think a unique cover stock is, well, you said besides cover and core, that's about it. Layouts, I think we've really maxed out at this point. I think the next one is just going to be cover stocks are going to be the one area that we haven't fully evolved yet. That's going to be that slow area that just keeps improving. Because there's no standards on it. Like there's no limits on what you can do with a cover. USB-C has very few limits. So I think they're just going to keep getting better and better. I feel like we're going to get something that mimics urethane sooner rather than later. I guarantee all of the companies are in an arms race right now trying to mimic a urethane ball reaction because we're all assuming that it's going to get banned in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how or what, but that's what everyone in the industry is kind of guessing at this point. David Hahn, thanks for your explanation. Absolutely, David. Yeah. Andy, my wife is getting more serious and wants her own ball. Awesome. You're thinking motive is best since they keep the same core. Would you go with a Thrill Hybrid or Hyper Venom? I would go Thrill Hybrid. I think Thrill Hybrid is going to be the best play. Let's see. Sorry, somebody popped up in my Twitch chat who I need to ban. Do not click that link, anybody. Dan Tippett, I'm currently having to stand around 13, try to go up 8 to reach the pocket with my current balls. And it depends on the pattern for a lot of that stuff. Like, is that good or not? James D, I do have pieces above and below the Venoms. Okay, well then in that case, the Lethal is the most different of all the Venoms, so not a terrible choice. Jake, when would you choose a weakened smooth ball over weakened sharp? You're a two-handed righty rev dominant house shot. What would you go down to when the Attention Star and Gremlin are too much ball and no more room to move left? So that's the big one. If you want to move left, you need a weakened sharp ball because you need a ball that'll actually turn the corner and actually go sideways. If you're playing a little straighter, then you need a weakened smooth ball. Hey, Koza Black Ice, what's going on? I'm a two-hander with a phase 2 and an Ion Max. Yeah, we did hit that question. A Pearl ball will be best with that. Robert Young, what's your opinion on the Ethos Hybrid and Envy Tour Pearl? You've seen a lot of mixed reviews. Ethos Hybrid was really good, just it didn't get any publicity as a lot of the Brunswick stuff does because it all just can't, Brunswick is cannibalizing a lot of their stuff, unfortunately, where there's so many releases that 20% of them get coverage, where Storm's generally really good at being able to give coverage to everything. They usually do ignore certain balls, even at Storm, like when the Iron Pro Solid came out, the High Road 40, I think, came out alongside of it. And the High Road 40 is a fantastic ball, incredible ball, but it got ignored, where the Iron Pro Solid got all the marketing. So it happens everywhere, but when you have a company that drops 6 bowling balls, you can't give the same love to all 6. Much harder. But overall, Envy Tour Pearl was fine. Not great, not bad, just it was okay. Amazing Robin picked up your T-Zone. Hey, love that for you. Nice. Yeah, quick little shameless plug for everything. Thank you, everybody who's hopping in so far. We have a lot of live stream left, so no, we're not ending anytime soon. Thank you guys all so much. Make sure to drop a subscription or a follow if you haven't. We just hit 20,000 follows over on TikTok. Huge thank you to everybody on TikTok. YouTube, we're at about 12,500. Huge thank you to everybody out there as well. And otherwise, if you want to like whatever stream you're on, if it's TikTok, double tap your screen. If it's YouTube, it's going to be right below my face somewhere. And then Twitch, you unfortunately can't. Facebook, it's going to be in the bottom left, but I don't think we have any Facebook people right now. A huge thank you to everybody on that front, but we are doing a full Q&A. We're going to be talking about the classic products showcase that we've been at over the last day and a half with a lot of huge industry leaders, where there was a lot of talk on urethane, there was a lot of talk on tariffs, there was just a lot of bowling talk. There's bowling talk with a lot of people. I met Barks from JR Pro Shop. I met a bunch of the Virtue Bowling Supply guys. Those guys are all incredible. 2 amazing channels that I highly recommend following. There's a lot of toxic content creators, unfortunately, in bowling right now, and a lot of negativity. Those guys aren't. Those guys are not at all. So those are guys I highly recommend checking out. But let's keep going with all of the comments that you guys have, because we have a lot right now. A whole hell of a lot. Tony Madlin, best Wednesday show on the market. Thanks, man. Quick question. I have 2 Evoke Hysterias. What do you think of the idea of drilling one up and one down, or just drill one of my favorite layouts and stash one? I would recommend the first option. I'm personally not a fan of having 2 of the same ball in your bag. I don't think they're versatile enough. I like to have the ball do what it's going to do and then just save the other one. But you really want both. You could do a pin up, pin down one. Amazing Robin, can't wait to have a spare ball that fits. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. Matthew Ninomiya, is the 2LS number 2 layout the example of a short pin? Why is it recommended for rev dominant if short pin makes the ball earlier? So short pin basically acts like urethane, where it hooks earlier, but it's a lot smoother. So it's there to try to mimic urethane is what it does. So that's why it's recommended for two-handers. Speed dominant guys don't need short pin layouts, but rev dominant guys generally do. Ego, tips for throwing two-handed. Just got my first ball drilled. Tropical Surge. Congrats, man. That's awesome. I see a hardness question coming up soon. Went to throw it and it overhooked a ton and missed the pocket altogether. So I'm guessing that's because you are really, really rev dominant. So there are some things that with the Tropical Surge being one of the weakest bowling balls, I think I'd recommend boosting that ball speed, trying to boost that ball speed. Remember, your ball speed comes from your feet and from the height of your backswing. So make sure to focus on those two things to try to increase that speed a little bit because that's going to help keep it on the right side of the head pin. That is going to be the best play. Let's see. Henry, when do you think the Hammer will release another Hammerhead? I would say end of year at earliest. Maybe a Hammerhead Pearl when the Hazmat Pearl gets discontinued, which will be like probably, that might be a little bit. The Hazmats get discontinued kind of quickly. So I could see that ball getting DC'd in like 5 months. But I think after that one's gone, that's when we'll see a Hammerhead Pearl. We need an Equinox Solid and a Hyperdrive Pearl from PNW. I think that might be a, I think we've seen those on the approved list. I have heard a few rumors of 3 balls on the approved list that we might see soon. Mateo, I need a ball that can get through the burns late second and third game that still flips. You're going to want a weak and sharp bowling ball. Typhoon will work. High Road 40 will work. Ivory Rhino is okay. Max Thrill Pearl could work. A lot of those will be great plays. Roll Dogs, just saw the Wicked Collision on sale for $110. Yeah, it's been on sale for quite a while. That ball just, they can't get rid of it. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the Brunswick stuff, you're going to see it get down to about $100 before they're gone forever. So that's one that's actually pretty okay, but people just did not care for, which is why it's surprising they made another Collision, but I guess. Janos, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Dennis, hey Zach, awesome job. Thank you, Dennis. On surfacing your ball, I have surface pads and I have Scotch-Brite like pads, all different surfaces as well. How close are they to surface pads? Nearly identical. Scotch-Brite pads is what actually a lot of pro shops are starting to use now because they stay together a little better than an Aberlon pad. So yeah, they're okay. Yofo, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Jason Reed, have you got to use lane track since last week? If so, what changes have you noticed since they moved past the data? Yes. Actually, I will be working pretty closely with Lane Tracks coming up. I had a conversation with their creator, Graham, who made the app what it is. And I will actually be making some more content with some of their future releases. So expect a lot of Lane Tracks coming in the future. If we have some ball reviews, I'm hoping to find a way to integrate Lane Tracks in there somehow. So expect some of that coming up very soon. But so far, it's from the beta, it's very similar. They haven't really added many features from that beta release that we had to the launch, minus a lot of bug fixing and a little bit of cleanup. But I expect a lot more. He has a lot of really big hopes for this project, which is amazing to hear. I love it. He's super passionate towards it. Amazing developer. I'm a software developer for my day job, and he is great at what he does. Very, very smart dude. So expect a lot of cool things coming. Too Tall, what is the minimum distance between finger holes you recommend? PSO drilled my balls at around 0.2 inches. Usually 1/4 inches is what you go for. 1/4 is what you hit. Deaf Sound Guy, what's going on? Anyone else on YouTube hearing that odd garbled echo? But I did see Def ended up saying, JK, it's not a thing. So that's a good sign. Mario found a 900 Global Pink Fury. I know nothing about that ball. Not a clue. Hopefully it's good. Jack, would be cool to see a short on Sarge Easter. I'm a Sarge user and get funny comments from other bowlers. Yeah, I don't know enough about Sarge Easter and I've never used it. I know why people use it. I'm personally not a fan of it, but I see why it can be beneficial. It's usually for injuries is the main reason. I know if anybody on TikTok probably saw Sarah Bowles try it for a little bit. Now, I don't know how well hers fit her hand. It looked like she was super, super stretched with it. And that's a hard thing. Sarge Easter is tougher to drill for because you need to be more precise. When you have to make sure that pressure is even. Otherwise, you're going to have too much pressure on your middle finger or your ring finger, and that's really, really bad. So it's a kind of a high risk, medium-ish reward. A lot of people like it though. I know a lot of guys who have Sargeaster and they're overall big fans. So I might actually try to drill one for myself for giggles just to see what it does. That might be a cool video. Gabriel, imagine playing the 1 cent denominator on a slot machine. Hey, that's what I do all the time. I was actually playing 2 cent this weekend. That was lost. We lost money. We did not make money this weekend. It was not a profitable endeavor at the casinos, unfortunately. Delivery to Joe, what is going on? We delivery folk typically are. That's fair. That's fair. Ego tip, we hit Ego. Gone. What is a ball around the fatal venom? Not lethal venom. Hyper venom. Hyper venom is basically the new replacement of it. That is the 1-to-1 replacement. Han, I play two-handed and have an optimum idle and a reality check. What would you want for fresh oil? I think the idle is a really good fresh oil ball. If that's not hooking enough for you and you need to go stronger, just go up to an ion max. Landon, would the Storm Typhoon be a good ball for high rev, low speed? Absolutely. Joe, if I want to grip my ball to 2,000, do I true cut to 1,015 and finally 2? Yes, go 1,015, 1,000 to 2,000 or 1,000 to 15 to 2,000. Mini, do you think I should get the 900 Global Cove? Two-hander, my main ball is a special effect. I think it would be okay. It'll be a big difference from that special effect. It's going to be weaker, but it's going to be super smooth for you, which is usually what two-handers need more because they're usually a little more rev dominant and axis rotation heavy. So I think that could be a good play. Also, Han, thank you for the share. And C-Lance, LT48 with the gas mask core. I don't think we're ever seeing that. That is the cross-brand stuff that they really stay away from. Unfortunately. I wish there'd be some more combos. They do, just it's more behind the scenes. Like sometimes track will have a cover stock that's actually just snagged from Hammer that they rename. That's been common for years in bowling though. Buds instead of the Attention Star, what about a Road Warrior? Also a good option, just a lot weaker. And I think that would fit a little bit better. I think that would fit better for your arsenal. BL Hawk, been out of the scene for 10 years, rebuilding your arsenal. You have a Widowmania Phase 2. What would be a good third ball for League? I would recommend something weaker than the Phase 2. So you could go Ember, Road Warrior. You could go Crown Victory, I think could be good. Any of those will be great. They'll be weaker bowling balls in general. Mario, thanks for the answer. Absolutely. Alex LaRocca, what's going on? Isn't the level a urethane replacement? That was the goal of it. It just sucked. sorry, Storm. I shouldn't say it sucked. It was just weird. It was just not, it was too weak, unfortunately. The cover stock was not strong enough to be able to replace urethane. But yes, that was kind of their goal of it without saying it. Absolutely. Let's see. Eli, my bad, Eli. Making a new Sport Shot arsenal, 15 pounds. You have a Cove and an Evoke Hysteria. Nice. It's not a bad arsenal. I mean, an Ember could fit well. Primal Rage could fit well. Crown Victory, Road Warrior, all of those could fit well. Sarah Capilla, what do you recommend for a 165 house shot average? Bowls on Sport 60% of the time. Two-hander, 375 to 425, so rev dominant. But you bowl on Sport a lot. I think you're going to want smoother equipment. So you're going to want a Ebonite Turbo X, Ion Pros are going to be your best friend. Venom Shocks are going to be your best friend. A lot of smoother equipment will be better. ROC, have you heard about Motive putting together the Primal and the Ghost? Yes, it's going to be the Primal core and then the Ghost cover stock. Cinnamon Chinchino. I love that. Just got an Infinity Quest. Hey, congrats, man. Hope you like it. Dennis, EBT drops the 78D rule after 1 season. Yeah. That is some of the most unfortunate news that has come out of European bowling. It was one thing from this weekend. So we had Hank Boomershine out at the Classic Pro Shop trade show, and they were talking about urethane a lot. And one of his biggest things is they had a guy in the field, or they had a rep who was, ball repping for European tournaments, and you could use whatever. And he said, if people came with a 5-ball arsenal, 4 of them were urethanes. It doesn't matter what you put out over there. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter if Kegel tests a pattern and says reactive's better on this. They didn't care. They were throwing urethane. It's been a urethane only market for 5-ish years. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have bowled over there, I know Daria had a post about it. Stu Williams is very adamant that like that is destroying European bowling, just throwing urethane. So it's very unfortunate that they did that. I feel like personal opinion, subjective, not objective. If they got rid of it over there, that would really be a showcase to see what would happen in the States and see if it's a positive or negative, if you see attendance go up or go down. So that was kind of surprising to see. Let's see. Def, we hit. Charmaine, what ball would you compare to the new Belmo ball? Black Widow Mania, I think, is kind of close. I think that would be the closest. Let's see. Landon with the Typhoon, we hit. We hit that. Typhoon got the same treatment. Yeah, Typhoon was super ignored. Like, they didn't even make a ball review for that guy from Storm. They didn't. They just like, hey, here's a ball. Go do stuff. See if it sells. We're gonna do no marketing for it. Let's see. I'll have to hit that a little bit down there. Garrett, we hit. Ego, we hit with the two-handed. Vatican Knight, how important is PAP? My first ball didn't get it measured. Think about redrilling. I would recommend after you have your after you have your first ball and you kind of get your form down a little bit, then I'd recommend measuring your PAP just to see what it is. You don't need to re-drill it, just depending on where you're at in the game. If it's your first ball, the layout's not going to matter that much. Layout is not that important in bowling, which is hard to say. It's probably about 10 to 15% of reaction. If your layout is really, really wrong, then it can cause a lot of problems. But overall, I think you're going to be okay. Hey, Barks, what's going on? You're back home already? Yeah, I had a flight back at 6 a.m. this morning, Vegas time, and it was a 2.5-hour flight. I'm just in Minnesota. So got back here at 12:30 and then napped a little bit because I was running on about 3 hours of sleep. And here we are, back at it again. Dennis, we hit. Let's see. G. Bryant, what's going on? What's up, man? What are you drinking today? Today is a Lost and Found Strawberry Pop Energy. I think it was one of their more limited flavors. It's really good. There aren't many strawberry drinks out there. So, huge fan. Good job, Lost and Found. You guys did a good job. And it's not crazy amount of caffeine either. I think it's like 130 or something, 140. What's up with the Phase 2 being discontinued in price? Nobody knows. I asked a lot of people. They have no idea why the Phase 2 is down to 150. It's not getting discontinued. I'll get that out of the way. It is not getting discontinued anytime soon. It is still one of Storm's best-selling bowling balls of the year. We have no idea. No one has a clue. We're all very confused. I recommend that we take advantage of it while it's here, but no one knows why. No one knows. It's just odd. I have two and we'll get a third one. Yeah, but it's not getting DC'd. Definitely not getting DC'd. Dan Tippett, strongest to weakest. Axiom Solid, Idle Solid, Phase 2. Personally, I went Idle Solid, Axiom Solid, Phase 2. And I did throw all three. Isaiah Hagan, I'm going to be bowling on all 5 Team USA men's patterns. Throw urethane. They are all very flat. Have a really strong ASIM and then have urethane and you should be good. Have some kind of stronger pearl and you're set. Hey, Alex, thank you for the follow. Also, Kayla, thank you for the heart me over on TikTok. Really appreciate it. Freddie, congrats on 20K. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, we were able to hit 20K a couple of days ago. Absolutely crazy. Huge thank you to everybody out there who helped us get to 20K over on TikTok. It's been fun. TikTok's been so fun to make content for and interact with people. It's been incredible. Let's see. Roll Dogs, first 300 ever. Congratulations, man. That is awesome. Huge congrats to you for that. Crazy feeling. Oh, it's how high if you have a smartwatch, check how high your heart rate got. Very curious. How did you feel after your first? I blacked out. Not like, drinking reasons or anything. Just like after my first shot in the 10th, I don't remember the last two at all. I threw the last one really good. I think I was 19 at the time. It was with a Deviate Thug Unruly or Thug. It was an orange one. I should remember my first 300 ball. It was the Unruly was the pink one. Yeah, that was the purple one that hooked at your ankles. Not the Life, not the OG. Thug Corrupt. I threw it with the Thug Corrupt was my 300 ball. But yeah, I remember blacking out completely. That was great. Swatsy went to throw an Ebonite Turbo X on house. It hooks so much for the first, for the first while because it comes super dull. Once it lane shines a little bit, you're going to notice that it calms down, which is really good. Makes it that weak ball that it should be. Alex, when are they going to come out with another Lab Series ball? I don't know. I have no idea. Based on the bowling balls that people are predicting are out, based on the USB-C approved list, none of those are Lab Series bowling balls. So maybe end of year. I have no idea. Now that Hank is this new role of like that Boomer Shine project thingy, maybe that means we'll have more of them, but we'll see. I don't really know. What did Don? Don, I think I'm going to see how long I can stay up, then alter the house pattern tomorrow. There you go. Yeah, might as well. I passed out for like an hour and a half when I got home, and I will probably still be passing out at like 9:30 tonight. I did not eat dinner, though. That was a bad choice. I'm getting hungry. Vatican, Typhoon versus Road Warrior for a ball down. I like the Road Warrior better. It'll be closer. The gap between a Phase 2 and a Typhoon is huge. Absolutely huge. Garrett, can balls like the OG Theorem or the Vaporize fit in the medium sharp part of your bag? They absolutely could. It seems you're so quick to put certain balls in certain spots. Are your suggestions based on your game? No, Garrett. So my suggestions are actually not based on my game at all. My suggestions for where bowling balls fit are based on the numbers, the core numbers, where the cover is, what the cover does. Even though a lot of brands don't put out cover stock guides, you can still make an idea because most cover stocks have been used sometime in the past. I use that. I use every ball review that gets put out online. Now, some are better than others to see like where the strength level is. I use just user reviews, just field tests of bowlers that I know who throw the balls early and viewers who throw the balls early to see what you guys think. If I end up grabbing the ball, I do just have my own field test comparing it to other bowling balls. My big one is comparisons. Like if I compare a Theorem to an Evoke Hysteria, I don't have either ball, but if I had an Evoke Hysteria, but I would compare them and see because that Evoke Hysteria is very much a strong sharp ball. That's where it perfectly fits based on Motive's ball guide, based on the numbers, based on everything. And if the Theorem was close, that Theorem should be strong sharp. So there's a lot of ways I go into it, but it is not just how I feel. I don't think that's an accurate way to make a ball review, in my opinion, is this is everything I feel about this ball, and that's that. Like, that's one thing, but I think being objective is the way you have to go. George Widmer, good evening. How you doing? Robert Young, have you seen Jason Eubanks' ball? I have seen a little bit on it, and I know he's sold out all the time, and he's just constantly pumping them out, but it's a cool idea. It's a ball made specifically for his style, highly rev dominant, so I like it. It's good for him. I love that he was able to somehow find a way to do it. It's good for bowling. Hope it does well. I really hope it's actually good. Let's see. Ricky, what's the best benchmark ball out? Phase 2. Phase 2, Rockstar, and the, let's see. Sorry about that. Phase 2, Rockstar, Hammerhead are 3 of my favorites. You should build an arsenal with the all-new Motive new releases for a new video. Yeah, I did. I recently did a Motive all ball guide back in February, maybe. So I do need to make a new one soon. Matthew, what's going on? Good to see you. Revs on the left. Love the Swag Fusion. Hey, good to hear. Good to hear. I think Swag is a really good lefty bowling ball for sure. I think a good lefty brand, I think, is a good way to put it. Freddie, the new blue is a sport shot ball. I would argue the new blue is better for house shots. I would. I think it's a little better for house shots than sport. Revs on the left. Hey, I'm TikTok over 1K and now I'm on Bowlify staff. Hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah. Hope you can rep Bowlify well. Try to boost that Bowlify market share. I think that's a great idea. They're a great brand, so do what you can to try to help them out. Tactical Bowler, I've been bowling for about 2 years now and have my form down. Should I measure my PAP? Yes, absolutely. You should definitely measure your PAP. 100%. Don, I'm starting league tonight. Hey, good luck, Don. Good luck. Ego, any recommendation for spare balls if I have a surge for a strike ball? Yeah, T-Zone, Ice, any of those. The new Motive ball, is it the Aspire? I think, yeah, the Aspire is the plastic one. Any of those are good. James D, did you see Luke's video on two-handed bowling? I did not. I saw that he posted it, and I saw it's popping off on views because it is in the YouTube world. Yes, clickbait is a thing, and he did a fantastic job with the title. He did a very good job because it is a very common question that we all get is there's a lot of two-handed haters. So he's kind of feeding towards the two-handed haters. I'm curious to see what it says. If anybody has a quick summary, if you've seen it, please let me know. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Let's see. Adam, fellow software developer, what's the best language? Python. Yeah, definitely Python. Also, thoughts on the IQ Tour AI? I think the IQ Tour AI is good. It's getting ignored, but it's good. I kind of want one. I might pick one up. We'll see, but we'll find out. Bryant, Brunswick Bowl, Sargeester. It's depends where your pain is the big one. Is like, where is that pain? Will it actually help? It's a hard one that you need to test and make sure it's drilled correctly. I don't recommend trying it if you have no pain. I would recommend staying normal for the longest time because I think the way you can manipulate a ball is less possible when you're Sargeester. You notice that with a lot of people who throw Sargeester is manipulating your roll is a little bit tougher. Yofo, are those the same Scotch-Brite pads that people use to clean their dishes? I don't know, actually. I'm not positive. I think it's close. Not exactly, but close. Wayne, idea for a new series. Updated arsenals. I've given away 5 balls and gotten 10. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I have so many arsenals to go through. It's going to be very tough to do. Very tough to do. Revs, I think he has 3 left for the Revelated now. I always see Facebook posts from him that are like, and we're out, and we have some, and we're out, and we have some. So I think the only one to actually make a review of it was Charles from The Hype. And I saw a little bit of it, but I'm not the guy who would do well with that ball because I see it kind of similar to like a direct hit is what that his ball is kind of doing in a certain way. And that ball, as we all know, did not roll well for me. Also, shout out Brunswick, Brunswick as a brand for watching my my torpedo direct hit video. Whoopsie. That's always funny. Yeah, I hate that ball still. I think it's too gimmicky. It works for the situations that it's, I think for some situations, but I think for the general bowler, not useful. If you're highly rev dominant, it'll be good. Kind of like that Revelated. Highly rev dominant, it's perfect. Wayne, has anyone ever done a reverse Sargeester? I don't know. I think you'd have to bowl backup for that to work. Reverse Sargeester does exist, but I've never seen it in person. I would be terrified to get that off my hand. Did Joe, would you happen to know the highest performance, earliest a hooking ball with HK22C? I think the Hypnotize is going to be the earliest that you're going to find. Hypnotize or the 3D offset assault, one or the other. So, sorry, Gon. What is Sargeester? Yeah, Jack hit it perfectly. Sargeester is when the middle finger is drilled fingertip. So you go up to that first knuckle. There, first knuckle. But then your ring finger, this is both hands. Ring finger actually goes to the second knuckle. So your ring finger fits like a house ball, but your middle finger actually fits as a fingertip ball. It's interesting. It's supposed to take a little pressure off of your wrist at times, but it has to be done very well. And it's hit or miss. I see it as it's a little tougher. I don't usually want to recommend it. It's beneficial to some people, but not to everybody. G. Brian, I have an Infinite Physics IQ Tour. What do you recommend in between the two? Phase 2 is really good. Zen 25 are both good. Lorenz, how would you rank the Primal against other medium sharp balls? The Primal Rage Evolution is going to be similar to the Super CUDA in terms of strength, weaker than the Zen, a little weaker than the GB5 Pearl. That is where I am seeing those. Let's see. All right, we'll do a quick plug. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit. We're going to pause on the comments just for a second. I want to talk about the Classic trade show that I was at over the last couple of days. So Classic Products, one of the biggest bowling ball distributing company, had a trade show. Over 100 pro shops went out to Vegas. We listened to a couple of talks. We talked a lot about tariffs and about urethane bans. And then we had this full trade show where you could buy a bunch of products from all the different brands. You had a lot of high ups there. It was very, very fun. The conversations were the coolest part. Because like tariffs, the one thing I found out is this is going to be the lowest price that we have for bowling stuff. expect price hikes. They're coming. A lot of the companies have been eating the costs of these tariffs. The like Storm and Motive and Brunswick have been, and like KR Strike Force and all that. However, they can't do that forever, and there's gonna be price hikes coming. So as we predicted back in March, as we expected, that is going to be coming. Bowling balls might be a little safe, but everything else is going to be rough, very, very rough. So expect a lot there. Urethane, still no word, no idea what's going on. A lot of people are against it. It's still a very controversial opinion. There are a lot of recommendations being made to USB-C. However, no official word has come out. We aren't sure how this would affect bowling. A lot of people think the youth game would actually go under. I strongly disagree, but there was a lot of leadership there who thought youth bowling would get hurt by a urethane ban. It's an interesting idea, an interesting take on it. So that'll be odd. But otherwise, it was really awesome to see a lot of the big bowling brands. We had like a Nick Parr sighting there. Anthony Simonson was there. Talked to him for a minute. We had Dallas Long came down for some reason for like 30 minutes. But otherwise, a ton of big names at a ton of the different brands. Really cool to hear a lot of the things that are going on. The shoe market is looking really cool right now. Shoes are very tough. Prices are going to hike, but a lot of cool shoes coming. KR Strike Force bowling balls are coming soon, which is great. The Rise and their polyester stuff, that should be coming in September and October. Then we have a couple of other really cool things happening in the bowling space. I do have a product that I'm going to be making a review on sooner rather than later. Kind of cool. Precision Point Pro. These things are kind of awesome. I'll show you. It's basically a way to line up your drill press a little better. It takes a little bit of extra time, but it makes sure you have perfect precision. So if you have a pro shop where your span is different on everyone, they should really buy one of these. Like this goes into the press, and then this actually tells you where the hole's going to be, which is really cool. So we'll have a review of this product coming sometime in the next couple weeks. But very, very cool event. If you guys have questions about what it all was, I have a little video just showing all the stands. Please let me know. Okay, we're not closing that. It's staying open. But that is what we were doing the last couple of days. A lot of cool talks with a lot of big names, which was fun. Weston, please don't ban my purple. Claire, congrats on the 20K. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in too. Thank you for hopping in. Claire has the fun situation where she was able to jump into one of her leagues tried to ban urethane in two-handers, which is crazy. Wild. Ricky, what's the best benchmark ball we hit? Jason, I hear a lot of people say they have an attention star rather than the S2. The S2 is just earlier and smoother, and it's just not as usable. The star is already like fairly smooth for a pearl ball, so it works really well. Weston, do you drill your own stuff? I do. Yes, I do drill my own stuff. Dennis, thank you. Oh, absolutely, Dennis. Did you watch Luke's video? No, I unfortunately did not, but I will be tonight yet. RTM looking for a benchmark motive ball to complement the lethal. Venom Shock. Vatican, is there a difference between the limited identity Belmo versus the purple one? Color. That's it. Just color. The only difference. And I have a video that I've saved that I have not posted of me just basically yelling at Storm for 10 minutes. Because it is so dumb. It's so stupid. Big Mike, Stu has said many times that the only tournaments that are completely packed are the no urethane tournaments. That's what I've heard as well. Yeah, Stu is the one who mentions it a lot, and a lot of European bowlers say that is like the ones that do best are the no urethane tournaments because that's all it's been for 5 years. Is like, can you throw urethane? No, sorry, man, you're out, which is unfortunate. Like, I like that. Just a little bit of a mix. I think bowling, we have the opportunity to make tournaments super unique. I think we can make them super unique, which would be cool. Let's see. James D, can cover additives change over hardness? Not really. Not especially. I think it could if you mess them up, but right now, none of them do. George, non-bowling night, so it's a Heineken for me. Hey, there you go. There you go. Good play. I love that. Dennis, new phase 2. Yeah, we love a new phase 2. I got to throw mine more. Vatican, do you still use your OG Trek Theorem? I do not. I don't have mine anymore. Mine was used when I bought it. And I found out it had a lot more games than what was advertised. So I ended up tossing it. It ended up cracking a little bit too. So it was not in good condition, which was unfortunate. Matthew, did you throw the Evoke at the test drive? I threw the Hysteria. I did, and it was smoother than I expected. But I was able to throw that a little bit. Risen, how do you increase ball speed? Foot speed and then height of your backswing are the best two ways. Raise the height of your backswing, boost your foot speed, you'll get more speed. Ricky, how would the Obsession Tour stack up versus the Rockstar? They're going to hook in a similar part of the lane. The Rockstar will be a little smoother, I think. I think the Obsession will be a little quicker. So it's kind of tough, though. Let's see. Best bowling ball cleaner. All of them are really good, honestly. Jack, when I had long hair would go over my face, I wore a headband to get it out of the way. One time I had someone tell me I can't wear it in tournaments. Not a rule. Not a rule at all. If there is dress code rules, don't exist. If you're in a specific tournament and they have a dress code rule, then they have a dress code rule. Otherwise, there are no rules. And that's just someone being dumb. Sorry for that. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Let's see. Charmaine, what do you think about the bubblegum vibe? I think it's really good. I think it's a good weak and sharp ball. Super, super weak, but a bit angular. So I think it's a good ball overall. Luke's got a great grift going for him. Oh, no. I'm curious to hear more about how that went. Tournament coming up. First pattern being Easy Street. Easy Street is easier, but I think Urethane might look pretty good on it. Urethane looks good on a lot. Balrog, what's your favorite weak and sharp ball as of today? High Road 40, by far. Charmaine, if I put Power Edge on my hyperdrive, it's just going to push the reaction a little bit further down lane. It's still going to be pretty smooth, though. Cody Hoffman, would the new Guru be a top-end strong ball? It will be, but it's going to be a step below, like an Ion Max or a Jackal Onyx. Not by much, but it will be. Smitty, sorry, I've been doing homework with this as background noise. Hey, all good, no problem. George, one hand, two hand, I don't care. Just go out and bowl. Now, string pins, different story. Smitty, I just got my two-handed PAP checked. There you go. Nice. Jason, how do I measure my PAP? So first thing I do is ask your local pro shop. If they're not able to help, there are guides online for how to find your own. I need to make a guide at some point, but it's fairly easy to find. You just need a couple pieces of tape and to get videos of your ball going down the lane. But Andrew Anderson, when he was doing YouTube stuff, like a year ago at this point, had an incredible guide on it. He did really well on that front. Let's see. Weston, yep, drill my own stuff. RC, would Evoke Hysteria fit well with an S2, Zen 25, and Ion? It'll be above the Zen and next to the S2, so I think so. Have you seen a Sarge drill in different ways, John? I have not, just that way that I mentioned. Weston, we have the senior state tournament going on. I drilled a ball for a guy with a 5.5-inch span. I think that would be the biggest I've seen, I think. I think the longest I've seen is 5.25. Or the longest I've drilled for is 5.25. So, wow, that is a paw. That is a large hand. That man could probably palm 2 basketballs in one hand. Bowling, freaky style. All right. Opinion on the low flare, speed dominant two-hander. I think it's a great choice. I love my my low flares. Jake, rank the 4 vibes. Radioactive is last all the time. That ball sucked. Ocean vibe is second last. I'd say Arctic is best, Bubblegum is second best. So it'd go Arctic, Bubblegum, big gap into the Ocean, and then the Radioactive. That Radioactive was awful. Dennis, just started 3 leagues this week. Whew, wow. Finally got to use my hammer taboo. Wow, that is an oldie, but glad you were able to. That's awesome. Pritzy, thoughts on the Hustle Glow? It's a great weak ball. Really good weak, just weak hustle. It's a Pearl Hustle, same as all the others at the end of the day. Nothing too crazy about it. But it's good. Check your 6, just got the new High Road 40. I noticed the pin was on the right side of the finger holes. I was told from my PAP this was correct. It could be. It depends what your PAP is. If your PAP is something interesting, then it very much could be right. There was a guy I was talking to this weekend from Brunswick who his son has a crazy PAP where a pin up layout for him is actually pinned down. It's like the pin is next to the fingers because the ball roll in the PAP is so wonky. So that's very common. That's okay. Not a big deal. Rob D, the direct hate still continues. Yes, it does. Yes, it's just, I get it. I understand what it was going for, right? It's a gimmick, it's a niche, and it works for those really high rev guys. They did not advertise it for those high rev guys. Again, Brunswick, I'm going to look at you. Brunswick, this one's for you. Fix your marketing, please. It's not good. We didn't know the direct hit was meant for high rev guys. Everybody at Brunswick knew. Consumers didn't. We were told it's a plastic ball with a core. And that's like, that's useless. But when you talk to any Brunswick guy, they're like, well, yeah, it's for those really high rev guys. But a consumer doesn't know that. Consumer doesn't know that was their intent. So we don't even know ball intent. So please tell us ball intent. And then a lot of the reviews for it were just, wow, this ball's amazing. Like, no, who cares? That doesn't tell us anything. Note to everybody here, 127 people here. If you watch a ball review and if the ball reviewer just says, wow, this ball hooks from everywhere. Let's move 5 left. Wow, this ball still hooks from here. Don't watch them. It's not worth it. It's just not going to be beneficial. It's trying to just sell you the ball based on no information. Get information. Watch the guys who actually talk about what the ball does, why it does what it does, and compare it. So, Zach, tip of the day. Jack, we hate the direct hit in these parts. Lawrence, what's going on? Sean Buller, how you doing, man? $20 super chat. Huge thank you. Thank you so much for that. How you been? Cove Ember High Road 40, S2 Drilled Strong. What 2 ASIMs would you go with? First, Identity, Optic Pearl, Level Plug. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff. All right, let's hit that one more time. Cove Ember High Road 40, okay, S2. What 2 ASIMs would go with a strong S2? I really think you would like a hyperdrive. I think a hyperdrive would be good for above it. Below it, I think Identity would fit well below it. Otherwise, an Attention Star. I think those would all work. I think those are going to be the best play. But huge thank you for the $20 super chat, Sean. Sorry I missed it for a couple of minutes. Really sorry for that. Let's see. We hit that. George, can you recommend a ball shoe in a wide fit? I know KR has wides. Dexter also has really good wides, so I'd check out those 2 brands right now. Too many reviews like that. I don't want you to tell me to buy the ball. I want you to tell me why I should buy the ball. And that's the problem with a lot of bowling stuff. And I would love to make a video of like how to make a ball review, but I don't make ball reviews, so everyone just sees it as garbage. Because I'm not on the ship list from all these companies. I do not have anybody sending me stuff. So I would love for some of those guys to actually make informed ball reviews. That is a part of this game that we are struggling with. Storm doesn't really have anybody anymore. Darren makes them when he wants to. Brad and Kyle make them when they want to. They don't really have a guy who makes their bowling ball reviews. Brunswick they have an employee who doesn't compare. He just says, this ball's great on lanes that hook no matter what you throw. That's the big one, is like, what are they bowling on is a very important thing. And what are the lane surfaces? Like if you watch any videos from the Brunswick headquarters or the Storm headquarters, or the Motive headquarters, you're going to see those balls hook miles more than they would at your local house. They look way different than what they will in any other center. It isn't even close, remotely close from any of the brands, but it makes the balls look good when you see them going down the lane. It's like, these things look awesome because they're hooking so much. The lanes are in pristine condition. None of us bowl on pristine condition lanes. And then Motive doesn't have anybody anymore either. Real Experience was, I don't know, I'm guessing Theo still will. I know he's not technically true quote unquote Motive staff anymore, but I'm guessing they're still going to make some. I don't know. I'm not sure. Ralphie, we got more Brunsnick versus ZVL beef. No, he was just talking trash at his live stream again today. It's a normal thing. I have DMs out to him that aren't answered. He will not read them. Brian, when you buy a secondhand ball, do you factor in the previous layout so the plug materials don't impact? Yeah, I always recommend checking where the layout is and what you need to do to it. I don't want you to have plug in where the ball is going to roll over. That's a really bad thing. I think that causes issues because it's really hard to make the plug perfectly even, and especially if the cover stock is still settling, because the cover stock technically never fully settles until about 2 years after it's poured. Then that plug could stick up a little bit, and then you're going to get the ball thumping down lane. Awful ball reaction then. So something to watch out for. Garrett, you always place vaporized and strong sharp, but say you can go medium sharp. Does the type of bowler depend on where the ball fits? Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I think like that's why my rev dominant and speed dominant, I have different balls in each category. If you're rev dominant, you don't need that origin. I don't think the origin is good. What you need is an attention star in that strong and sharp category. Or you need like the Vaporize can be your strong ball if you're rev dominant. If you're speed dominant, it isn't that strong in sharp ball, or it is that strong in sharp ball. But you can also put more above it. So it really does depend. Big Mike, PBA events have a dress code. It's really just business attire. Yeah, it's a lot. Some events do have dress codes of like you have to wear a jersey. Like 11th Frame Open just happened, and they have a dress code for Sunday if you make match play that I think you need a jersey with your name on it is their only stipulation. That's mainly for the live stream. So that's a common thing. Let's see. Ralphie, can you compare low int diff versus similar symmetrical? So no matter what, an asymmetrical ball will flare more, but depending on that regular differential, the intermediate differential just adds more flare is all it does. Chewy, thoughts on the Equinox? Would the IQ2 or AI or Phase 2 complement it? I think both balls could complement it. The Equinox is a pretty strong pearl ball. The other ones are not in that realm at all. Are Chilean bowling the Open next year for the first time? Any advice you can give me? Yes. Work with your team to break down the lanes the right way. Absolutely is one of the most important things. I think that's one of the most important things. Make sure you break down the lanes the right way and have a game plan going into the event. Chewy, strong ball drilled weak or weak ball drilled strong? Weak ball, I mean, both can work. I like to keep strong balls like drilled medium-ish in terms of strength, and weak balls I like to drill a little stronger to try to get them to have more flare. You'd rather have more flare than not enough flare. Bowling, would you check the JTBA site for Ohio and explain the pattern for this upcoming Sunday? I can try quick. JTBA Ohio oil pattern. Oh, their website is not good. Oh, wow. I am not seeing it. Is it the Akron Open? I'm not seeing an oil. Oh, there it is. Lane pattern on display in Tournament Office and jtba.com. Where? I am not seeing it on the website. This website is not good either. Sorry, man. I'm not seeing. Let me know where it is. Let me know where it is on their website. Let's see. Where are we at? Quick little shameless plug, guys. If you haven't, make sure to drop a subscription or a follow anywhere you are. Make sure to drop a like on the streams. It's the best way to help support the channel so that we can keep doing all these live streams and keep making a ton of videos and try to help you guys become better bowlers, get rid of a lot of the misinformation in bowling, and just help the sport out. Get us more bowlers. That benefits everybody who's watching these right now, is to have more people bowling. So any help would be appreciated. Niles, check Storm Marvel Max Black. Ooh, I've seen that ball a little bit. I think it looks awesome. I forgot. My ball hook's way too much whatever spot I play. I'd recommend boosting your ball speed. I think your ball speed is probably a little low, so try to boost that a little bit. Let's see. Jaybird, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Priest Secret, what would you think of the severe collision for a house shot? I think that's where that ball works best, is going to be a house shot. I don't think it's the best sport shot ball. It is asim pearl, really angular. Usually you don't need that much angle at a lot of tournaments, but house shots, it's okay. So I think it'd be good for house. Bart Builds, what's going on, man? Pritzy, I have a Phase 2 in plastic. I just ordered a glow. Nice, good. BL Hawk, thoughts on the track theorem? Solid. It is the best ball that Brunswick just released, by far. It is their best ball that they released of the last 6. It's going to be that strong and smooth category, and it's a good piece. It's what you want from a like a stronger, solid ball. Priest, I have the RST Hyperdrive, severe collision, outer limits, and a plastic. What would you recommend to fit in my arsenal? You have all really strong ASIMs. I think you need some kind of symmetrical ball in there. Some kind of symmetrical ball, solid or pearl. You can really pick which one you get, but I think something symmetrical needs to be added and you'll be good. D Fishbowl, I'm right-handed and found a used ball I like, but it's drilled left-handed. If it's symmetrical, yes. If it's asymmetrical, you're going to have a lot of plugging to do, which isn't the most fun. RJ, can you measure Pap without an armadillo? Yeah, Big Mike hits it perfectly. JR Pro Shop has an awesome video for that. Highly recommend those guys over there. Marcus, strong ball weak or weak ball drilled strong? We hit already. ADHD, I have an Ethos hybrid drilled pretty weak, and I absolutely hate it on all conditions. I've tried all different surfaces. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'd just move on. Try to sell it. Try to get a little bit of money back, and then just stay away from the Ethos line, if at all possible. It should be under patterns. I'm not even seeing patterns in this, man. I see registration for tournaments. Oh, hey, patterns. August 24th. Please tell me they actually put something decent. Oh, it's long Petraglia. You're going to have to just play it's just a typical long pattern. Play straighter. Play either straighter up the gutter or play about 15 with a breakpoint of 10. It's going to be for that JBT one. Or JSBT. Our builds, I prefer the ball reviews by Mikey Tang, Chris Vi, or Nick Morgan of Lucky Bowling, Stu Williams too. I really like when Chris and Stu do them. They do comparisons. That's the greatest thing. They are the Storm guys, in my opinion, because they actually throw other bowling balls. Mikey doesn't as much. Mikey and Chris don't, and they don't talk about the ball all that much, about what it does, because it's usually their first time throwing it. So I think Stu and Chris explain it so well. They're some of my personal favorites for Storm stuff, but no other brand has that kind of level, which is unfortunate. I think Motive could get the most win for that if they had somebody actually comparing their bowling balls. And I know Real Experience did an awesome job with it and still do an awesome job with it if they're going to keep it going, like if Chad does, or if Theo is still getting their stuff. But yeah. Jason, I know you're not sponsored. Could you do a shoe review and comparison? I could find something out. I posted a shoe video a while ago, but more about like just the 3 kind of levels of shoes. But I could get into detail on some of the bigger ones coming out lately. Absolutely. Let's see. B, can you talk about when you use strong versus weak versus pearl, all that stuff? For a quick TLDR of it, you want to use strong equipment when there's a lot of oil in the fresh. That's when you want to use strong, and when you want to use smooth stuff is on fresher oil. On the transition and the burn, you generally want to throw the sharp bowling balls, the angular stuff. When there's less oil and you need to keep moving left, the weaker ball is generally going to be better than the stronger ball, is the quick TLDR of it. So hopefully that wasn't too short, and hopefully it helped. Hopefully it helped. Gone. How do you explain to someone on how to break a pattern down? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a hard question. That is a very hard question, Gone. Basically, your goal when you're out at nationals is to turn your pattern into a house shot. The pattern starts flat. I wonder, could I? No, I kind of need to keep that. If the pattern starts flat, your goal is to have a lot of oil in the middle of the lane, no oil on the outside. So you need to break out that outside. You need to throw a bunch of balls there to pick up a lot of the oil so that you turn it into that house shot is your goal. Chandler, would a phase 2 and a gremlin be a good 2-ball combo? I think so, honestly. Joe, hope you're doing well. 6:15 early shift. Poor and early timing. 7:20 late shift. Hey, there you go. That's a lot better. Love that for you. Love that for you. Let's see. Jake, what do you say is a good first asymmetrical from Brunswick right now? Criterion and Mesmerize are both 2 of the best. Hammerhead is also great as well, but that's symmetrical. Johnny, ball that has fingers drilled into the pin. Could replugging be viable? Oh, absolutely. You just need to remember where the pin was, like if it was in the middle finger or the ring finger. So otherwise, then you're good. Evo, you're still in Minnesota. I am. I'm still in southern Minnesota. Can we get a few games in? Yeah, let me know. I'm at a bunch of tournaments in Minnesota whenever those are kicked off. So I'm always going around, but it always depends on plans and all that. Gabriel with a pineapple. We need a pineapple ghost. I'm surprised we don't have one yet. John Romero, I missed your opinion on the combat. Yeah, I think the combat is good, but it didn't get advertised. Again, no idea. The only things I have from that combat are a handful of staffers who are like, this looks really good. And then, who was the other one? I had somebody else. Was it maybe Luke? Was it maybe Rosdal? It might have been Rosdal who said it looks kind of like an Evoke Hysteria. That's the only other review I've seen from Brunswick stuff, from that combat, which is so unfortunate. I hate it. We need more. We need more ideas of what that ball does. But they just... every live stream of mine turns into like at the end of the day of like, Brunswick, please market better. But I don't know. I wish I could answer that for you. I think it's going to be underrated. I think it's going to look good just based on a lot of the other Brunswick specific stuff that they've made. Mesmerize, Goated, Vaporize, Goated. Ethoses are good. They're fine. Ivory Rhino is good. Hypnotize is good. The Infinities are iffy. The Infinity Quest looks better than the Beyond. Original Infinity was pretty good. I think this combat could be good, but there just is no information on it. So I know. Yeah. Again, Brunswick. I did actually mention that to one of the higher ups at Brunswick in the last couple of days. Is like, we need better marketing. We need better PR. And hopefully something happens. Jake, the pulse looks good. The pulse, from what I was actually able to get a little more insider info on the pulse, and it sucked for like 5 to 10 games. Once it gets games on it, it's a little better, but it's super early and super slow. But otherwise, it's fine. It's a stealth mode, basically. Like, it's not the same exact ball, of course. It's different in a lot of ways, but it's very similar to a stealth mode. And the stealth mode is $50 cheaper right now, which is tough. Are we ordering you a combat? Don, I would love to try one because I think it's going to be good. But do I want to spend the money on it? If I could have gotten one 3 weeks ago, 100%, 100% I'd be in. But I just don't know anything about the ball. It sucks. I wish we saw it more. I don't see it at tournaments. I didn't see it at a couple tournaments, and that might be because I'm in an area that's a lot of storm. Minnesota is much bigger on the storm front than the Brunswick front and the Motive front. Motive, there's very little going on in Minnesota right now. There's a couple shops and a couple areas, like small areas of it, but I would love to see that ball. I would love to see a lot of the Brunswick stuff more. Theorem solid, I would love to see it go down the lane a lot more. I'd love to see the pulse. Unfortunately, just haven't seen much of them. Have not seen much of them. Pritzy, awesome stream. Thanks for answering so many questions. Watching is like Google 2.0. Hey, that's kind of the hard thing. Bowling, if you Google stuff, it doesn't give you much information, which is tough. So hopefully it helps. My theorem solid is on the way. Exactly. That's going to be great to see. I would love to see that. Gabriel, are you coming back to Pittsburgh sometime soon? I'd love to 1v1 you. I don't know. I haven't heard from Maribeth in weeks. And I congratulated her on winning a tournament, and the jerk ghosted me. So go yell at Maribeth next time she posts a video. Zach's mad. No, don't say that. But yeah, I haven't talked to her in a minute, but I'll definitely be going out to Pittsburgh sometime sooner rather than later. It probably will only be 2026, just based on tournaments for what I'm traveling for this year now for the rest of the year. But hopefully sooner rather than later is the goal. Foggy, should you drill NU balls and urethane balls differently? Yes. Yes, you should drill them a little stronger. So urethane balls have the weakest cores in bowling. What you want to do is drill them strong so that they flare just a little bit. You don't want a lot of flare, but you want that little bit of flare. So yes, you do want to drill them a little stronger. Now, the new blue, yes, you can drill stronger. The Rattler, you do not want to drill stronger. You want to drill that weaker. If the ball has an actual real, I say real, but like a normal size core in it, a normal core, you don't want to drill it strong if it has a urethane cover, urethane light cover. However, if you have that tiny core, you want to drill it a little stronger. Let's see. Andrew, Twin Cities South Metro is becoming huge with Motive. That's interesting to see. I'm guessing that's because of Polzer. I know he's one of the big Motive guys in the area, but good to see. Good for them. That's awesome. That's one thing Minnesota hasn't had is really any Motive presence. I know at my pro shop, we have next to no Motive guys at all. Like I was surprised. I was able to get the Jackal Onyx like right when it came out and threw 300 with it right when it came out. We sold 0. Like I think we sold 1. I think we sold 1, but I thought that like that's been the only time a Motive ball has really been thrown much. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Thought I muted my mic for a second, but now we're good. Let's see. Gandhi, best solid ball on the market, phase 2. No, Theorem Solid looks really good. Rockstar is still really, really good. Venom Shock, obviously. Goated. I think those are going to be the best ones. Dad skates bad. What's going on? What's up? I made it for some of this week. We love to see that. How are you and what's good this week? Yeah, we're doing well. We got back from Vegas. We were out at the Classic Products trade show. Fantastic time. Met a lot of really cool people. Was able to meet Barks from JR Pro Shop, who's hanging out on TikTok for a minute. We were able to meet up with some of the Virtue Bowling Supply guys, so make sure to go check out both of those YouTube channels. They both do amazing, amazing stuff in bowling. They were out there, met a lot of cool people in the industry, a lot of higher ups from bowling companies, met a lot of other pro shops. So just got back from Vegas 8 hours ago, maybe 7 hours ago. So now we're here vibing, talking about a lot of the things that we did and answering any and all questions. Def, I enjoy the reviews from the West Seattle Pro Shop guys. I have never heard of them at all. West Seattle Pro Shop. West Seattle Pro Shop. YouTube. Do they post? They do post. Huh. Oh, no. Wait, hold on. Do they post? They do. Very rarely, but they post. That's cool. Good for them. And they're actually comparing stuff. Hey, look at them go. They use the same thumbnail for everything. Not a good idea for YouTube. They don't like that much. But that's awesome. Cool. Good for them. That's a really cool. I'll have to check them out. I've never actually heard of them in all honesty. So I'm going to check them out. Thank you for letting me know, Def. Appreciate that. Matthew, do you watch X in the Pit? I did a little bit. Yeah, kind of on and off. I would love if, I think those guys could do really well because they have access to all the equipment and they understand a lot of it. There's a lot of personal taste and bowling reviews. Like you have to add some personal taste of like the, I really like it or I don't like it. But I think those guys go really hard into that. I like it or I don't like it. It's that personal feel of it. But a lot of the time that isn't useful for the average person. Because the big thing to always remember in bowling is every ball ever made is somebody's favorite. Every ball, even the direct hit, is somebody's favorite. I don't think Ryan's hanging out anymore on the YouTube side, but if he is, that one's for you. But every ball is somebody's favorite, and just saying this ball sucks because I don't like it doesn't really, it's good to say why. And usually a ball doesn't suck. Usually not good for certain people in certain ways. So yeah, if they would get more down that road, I think they would do really well. Boost a little bit of quality and they're good to go. Ball reviews are hard. You need good quality. You need really good quality. Gabriel, I might try Red Bull next time. I'm not a Red Bull guy. I hate Red Bull personally. I've never liked a single one I've had unless it's in a mixed drink. So I would try one of the flavored zero sugars. That's probably your best bet. It tastes less irony. All of the ones I've had taste like iron. Like you're just drinking iron. Let's see. Dad skates. I have my first tournament this weekend. Hey, good luck, man. Good luck. I'm wondering if tournament oil will be way different than house shot. It depends what they put out. They might just put out the house shot. That's very common for a lot of places. They just dump out the house shot. Sometimes they put out a sport shot. So if they put out a sport shot, then you'll want to play with a smoother bowling ball because you'll have less miss room. I'm thinking phase 2 will be play. Absolutely. Yeah. Phase 2 is always the play. The one like 6-7 hours ago. Yeah, I know 6-7. I get it. I don't. That meme still is like confusing. Like I must be old because I in my durometer video for all the short forms, I said I'm testing. I think I said 6, maybe 7 or something, and everybody hit on it. Everybody focused on the 6-7. Guys, we can be better with our memes. We can do better. We're better. We're better as the internet. Horst, what's going on, Horst? I'm getting a new phase 2 and getting rid of my 23 one. There you go. All right. Not bad. And B, Onyx versus Venom Shock. Venom Shock is way weaker. Three levels, 3 steps below the Onyx would be my bet. I shouldn't say bet. I've thrown both a lot. I should get a new Venom Shock. I'm not throwing mine anymore. It was a very used one. Very, very used. Gandhi, when lining up on a board, should the reference point be my left leg or right leg? I personally say left leg because that's what you slide with, is what I do, but a lot of people do right. So personal preference. It's kind of like lining up for a free throw in basketball. Like you can do either, up to you, whatever you get used to. Just don't switch it all the time. Vincent, when you need to play inside and open your angle, but your ball does not hook enough, how would you identify if it's due to lack of rotation, ball rolling out, or too much oil? A good way to check if it's the ball, first of all, which would be ball rolling out, is try a different ball from that same spot. If you're throwing 20 to 5, your ball's not hooking, try a different ball, see what it does. And if it hooks back, then you know it was the ball's fault. If you just cannot get anything to hook there, you might just be too far left too early and you have to move back right until you find a spot where your ball actually goes through the pins. But if your ball is kind of going forward and leaving a lot of flat 10s, or it's just, you notice it's not having that more banana shape and it's just kind of rolling straight towards the pocket, then you know it's a rotation issue. Jason, what's going on, Jason? Targeting question. Do you know if people looking at breakpoint versus arrow versus dots? Everyone kind of does everything. A lot of people, some people do all three. Most people will be just arrows and then try to have some kind of breakpoint in their head. Some people draw a line from their breakpoint to their arrows and then to their feet. It's personal preference. At a minimum, go arrows. At a bare minimum, go arrows. Mr. Phil, not Dr. Phil, Mr. Phil. Are you going to put out a video for Balanced Arsenal? Yes, it'll probably be, based on all of the, based on where the ball brands are at, I'm assuming that we're going to have ball announcements either late this week or early next week. So I don't think we will have it up for maybe a week or so, but we will have one. We will have one. Don't worry about that. I do have it. It's on my list of videos to record. I have a very long list of videos to record. It's a good thing. There's always stuff to talk about in bowling. Always 20 different things, which is great. Jack, in North Texas, DFW area, Storm obviously sells, but I'm also selling a good chunk of my Motive inventory. Okay, interesting, good. And that's always good to see, like, good to hear, like, what areas of the country sell. Like, obviously, Utah is Storm. Like, it's Storm Central. When I was over in Michigan, more Brunswick and Motive than I've ever seen. There was very little Storm stuff. It was more Brunswick Motive because their plant is right there in Muskegon. So that's when I was in Grand Rapids. Now, when I was in Detroit, it was kind of hit or miss, kind of all over the place. But it kind of all depends where you're at. Matt Slater, my bad if you've already mentioned it, but anything new and cool coming out other than balls? So, yeah, I think Dexter just had some new shoes coming out. KR has their new reactive and plastic balls that we've talked about months ago coming soon. What were some other big things from the brands? What did we see out there? I have a tool I'm reviewing. I showed this a little bit ago. It's called Precision Point Pro. So it's something to help pro shops a little bit. Kind of a cool thing. It's all it is a rod and then this little circle guy. And this circle guy, so what happens is you put the rod in the circle guy. I am doing a very bad job at showing this. You put this into your drill press and you're able to see exactly where the hole is going to be instead of having to use like something to actually measure where the hole is going to be. So we'll be having a review of that. Those guys actually gifted me a pack of this. So huge shout out to the Precision guys. Otherwise, Turbo didn't really have anything new or special. Vice didn't have anything new or special. Jopo unfortunately wasn't there, so we weren't able to see what they had. KR we talked about. Dexter really didn't have anything new or that we haven't seen before. So it was just everything that they currently had. Wayne, West Seattle Pro Shop are excellent. Awesome. Oh, forgot my name. Horst, what's going on over on Twitch now? How you doing? Even the Road is someone's favorite. I know, as crazy as that is to believe, there is somebody out there who says the Road is the best ball ever made. I just saw that on a was it a Chad McLean Instagram post or something? Someone was like, I love the original Road. Huh, cool. John Romero, even the Torpedo is somebody's favorite. Exactly. Crazy enough. Crazy enough. Jacob, what's your advice on urethane for someone with lower revs? If you're lower revs, you generally don't need it much, is what I recommend. Yeah. Usually you just need a strong smooth ball instead. The urethane just won't carry very well. Urethane is really a high rev ball for most people. Let's see. User, what is a stronger core? EJ Jackal or Paragon Shadow? Ooh. Good question. Let's check. Motive Jackal. Motive Jackal has what? Let's go check out Bowler's Mark quick. 247054. I think the Paragon technically. I think it's definitely the Paragon. Paragon's still only 190 bucks. It's kind of surprising. I thought it was a little more. 2480. Yeah, it's technically the Paragon by a little bit. Very close though. Very, very close. Jake, no Deviate Dark Side slander will be tolerated. I need a Deviate Dark Side Pearl or Solid. I bet they'll have a Solid come out when they need to replace the Troublemaker. I think the Dark Side is replacing the Troublemaker series. Sam, any suggestion for a step down from the Idol? If it's the Solid version, the Cove would fit really well. Otherwise, one of the Ion Pros. The Ion Pro or the Ion Pro Solid. If it's the Optimum Idol Pearl, you have an Ember or Road Warrior will be best. John Romero, tips on transitioning from planting to sliding. Do your best to try to just work on, don't do a full release, just try to work on just your foot feeling that ability to slide, because that's a tough one for your body to kind of figure out. Your body's just going to want to plant that heel, but try to work on toe then heel when you're sliding. Andy, you are my inspiration. Got my first ball today. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. I hope you did. You better have. Better not lie to me. Jimmy, what's your advice on a step down from the one reverb? Hazmat Pearl. Hazmat Pearl's a good one. GB5 Pearl also works there. Let's see. Gandhi, how often do you practice? Are there specific drills? I don't do drills, honestly. I train on house patterns. I just bowl on whatever my bowling center gives me. I don't really have the power to actually put out any specific patterns. So I just bowl on whatever they give me, bring whatever balls. If I want to test some balls against each other, I do that. Otherwise, I just bring something that I'm okay with getting a couple extra games on, and then just work on, I just get videos and try to work on that stuff. But I'm not really a drills guy. I'm not good with being able to go to transition, like get something figured out in a drill to get it figured out on your full release. Big B, West Seattle is one of my favorite channels. Ben Long provides great reviews. I got to check it out. I'm going to check it out after this. Man, I got a busy night. I'm going to be watching the Luke video, and then I'm going to be watching that. So luckily I watched the Darren video already. Already got disappointed by that. Just say I'm sorry, man. It's not hard. Jack, never heard someone say the Swag Joker Maniac is my favorite. You haven't talked to a swag guy then. I was baffled at the amount of flack I got when I said that the swag equipment was very smooth. Not from like actual swag employees, just swag staffers, like legacy swag staffers. They were not happy with me. There was 3 guys in particular. One of them was a name on YouTube who's very nice to me for a long time, and he got pointed. He got personal. He made fun of my form during it, which was crazy. I couldn't believe he did that. But I thought it was, they're very smooth. They are. I was very honest about it. They are not angular bowling balls, but yeah, there are swag guys who probably adore that ball. 100%. Co-sign the West Coast boys. Hey, Don, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Born in 1500 with all these mystery balls being used to unload Brunswick balls. Do you think they're just unpopular or an unnecessary flood the market? I think they just weren't able to sell them is all it is. Because there's so many, they kind of have an idea of how many each one is going to sell. Like they know what the ones that aren't going to do great are versus the ones that are going to be bangers. However, it always means you're going to have inventory. You're going to have overflow. So when they get that overflow is when they get rid of them. Just the demand is never there. There's not many people in the world who right now are like, man, I need a radical snapshot. Like, I bet there's 3 people maybe who are like, I would love that ball. And I've been eyeing that ball up forever. Like, no, that doesn't happen. Sorry, radical snapshot. You were a dud, unfortunately. I don't know if even the ball's bad. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a terrible ball. It's just not liked. Not the most liked ball. Don, thank you for joining as a member. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Jason Reed, have you tried kombucha? No, I have not. Kombucha is weird to me. I don't know why. It's just very odd. I'm not a big fan of it. Don, I heard urethane is not getting impacted for league play. I was just with a lot of the higher ups in bowling and none of them had a clue. So whatever you've heard is unfortunately just a rumor. All urethane talk right now, everything USBC posts is about all that anybody knows, even the ball companies. Ball companies know very little. So whatever you've heard, probably a rumor, probably something someone made up. And Don subbed after 14 months. Don, thank you so much for subbing. Really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Richard Liu, how do you like the new Phase 2? Is it GOAT? Phase 2 is still GOATed, but the Phase 2 is unfortunate where it's insanely strong for like 5 to 10 games. It's going to be the strongest ball you throw, but then it slowly starts calming down into its GOAT status. So you have to wait a little bit. It's kind of a waiting game, which is the worst part about that ball. It's not amazing right out of box. It takes a little bit. It just needs some oil on the ball. Steven, Virtue Bowling Supply, CTD, Laneside Reviews, and The Hype reviewed the combat. They did, but I didn't get anything out of it. Not a single one of those guys. I think Virtue did a review, or not a review. They, the Virtue guys compared, but I don't remember what they compared with. Combat, let me look quick. They usually put it on their thummies. Yeah, they did Gremlin and Severe, and then they did What is that one? Severe and power hitter. Yeah, that's what they compared. And then a gremlin again in a separate video. So that's the only comparisons we've actually seen with that ball. I wish we've seen more, but hype didn't really do much comparative. Lane side doesn't really. CTD doesn't at all really anymore. So I feel I personally have not gotten enough out of to know. Allie, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Welcome, welcome. See, Jake, maybe they make a solid pearl called the light side. Ooh. I didn't think of that. It's a good call, actually. I like that, Jake. You want a job in marketing? I can't give you the job, but I love that idea. Dom, can you read my earlier comment? Dom, you didn't have another comment come through. It might have gotten picked up by TikTok's filtering. So try changing the wording and re-enter it. Sorry, man. Hey, McKenna, 20K. Thank you. We did officially hit that 20K. Huge thank you to everyone on TikTok for helping us get there. How do you feel about the Turbo X? I think the Turbo X is good. It's stronger than anticipated, but I think it has a really good purpose. It's a smooth and weaker bowling ball. It's still pretty decent. My computer is going AWOL right now, like just in how loud it is, which is weird. Mr. Snap, do you have recommendations for a super smooth, controllable, readable ball? Hammer Effect Tour is going to be a great option. Super smooth, super controllable, super readable. Moose, what difference do you see between the Pulse and the Rockstar? Very little. I think the Pulse is smoother. That's it. It's the only difference. So don't get both. Jake. Hey, my pro shop is telling me to get this ball called the Quantum Bias. I hope it's the white one. Oh no, what crashed? YouTube, YouTube Studio, come back. That's awesome. Oh, I'm lower than the bitrate size. I didn't know that. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Diecast, thank you so much. Enjoy your channel. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for watching. It means a lot. Damon, we've talked in DMs about ball recommendation. You said a Cove would work well. Just picked one up and through 230. Hey, there you go. That's awesome. I have been called a wizard in the past, a genie, a magician, a fortune teller, whatever it may be. But I'm glad you like the Cove. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Corey, do you use all your bowling balls? No, not even close. Nope. I probably have a rotation of like 20 that I mainly use. Probably 15-ish for tournaments that I kind of just cycle through because I have like 4 urethane-ish balls. Those big strong balls that sometimes aren't needed. Those weak balls that sometimes aren't needed. But I probably have 15 to 20 that I run through, but the rest of them I really don't. Don, I use all my balls when I practice. Normally just use 2 in a 3-game set. Yeah, absolutely. Jack, used to be a junior staff member for Swag. The older stuff definitely wasn't as smooth as now. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the stuff now is super smooth. Kurt, you think with the prices going up, flights, Reno, and Vegas will eventually hurt Open Championships? Yeah, it's very interesting because one of our Uber drivers for the weekend, or one of my 2 Uber drivers, really, there was only 2. I wasn't there long enough for more. He was saying how Vegas has been hurting so badly with travel. And a lot of it is Canadian. Canadians aren't coming down to Vegas, and that's really hurting Vegas. So I think it's going to hurt. I don't think it's going to hurt Open Championships numbers, but I think it's going to hurt Vegas and Reno as a whole, which is not good for bowling because we heavily rely on Vegas and Reno to host our events. Corey, why do people believe bowling two-handed is cheating? And what do you believe? It's not cheating. It's just different. And it makes, I don't know. I see it like it's a way just to be more powerful. And bowling has become a power sport. Nobody ever thought it would be. But everyone thought bowling would be a technical, like, hit your spot and throw it the same exact way 10 times. But it turned into a power game. A lot of people didn't like that. It's different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. That's why a lot of the older guys don't like it, is solely because it is way different than what they grew up on. It's not the bowling that they know. It's a different sport to a certain degree. So that's why a lot of people don't like it. And I grew up with two-handed. I didn't grow up as a two-hander, but with two-handed there. Belmo's been around since I started bowling. So I throw it however you want, whatever works. Two-handed, I feel like, is harder in a lot of ways. Easier in some, harder in a lot of ways. So I think it's good for the sport. It's really, since two-handed has become a thing, the youth movement has skyrocketed. And that's a really, really good thing for the sport. The youth movement is doing really well. High school, college, junior gold, all that jazz is doing well. And two-handed is a big part of it. Because it's easier to just get good quicker. Not great, but good. John, it was on the USB-C Facebook. Yeah, they said that, but it sounds like it might not be what they go with. I don't know. It's all over the place. The talk is so all over the place. Crazy. Artists, all the companies flooded the market so that Snapshot had never had a chance. No, and that's one of the tough things. Like, I think a lot of the companies are trying to find out, like, what is the right amount of bowling balls to post. Like, Motive, 1 ball every 45 days. Swag now has come onto the market and say, we're releasing 6-ish bowling balls every 6 months. We're going to drop a huge amount, and then we're going to wait 6 months. Let those sit on the market, and then we're going to come out with 6 more. Where Storm and Brunswick are just in an arms war of every month they're going to have a new couple of bowling balls. I think we've had upwards of 8 from Brunswick at one point. We've had 1 to 8, and some of them just don't do well. Like, you release 6 products, 3 of them are probably going to get choked out by the others, and they're okay with that. They are a-okay with that business model, so good for them. That's all. If it works, good. It's odd on the consumer end of like, yeah, you release this big ball and put a lot of hype in it, and then you didn't care that it didn't sell. But I'm not inside of the ball company, so I'm not sure. Joe, weak means when a ball hooks, right? I ask because my bubblegum vibe is easily the most aggressive ball. Yeah, the reason it's the most aggressive is because down lane it's so angular. Versus a lot of that stronger stuff. Stronger stuff is generally smoother. Sometimes it's not, but generally it is. Or call it, the other side. And you have Jason Derulo be on the ball because he had a song Other Side. The deep cut. Jason Reed, if I find a ball or two that is just it's just my ball. If I order 1 or more of them for later, what is the best way to preserve them? So what I recommend if you want to preserve a ball is 1, keep it in the plastic that it came in. Keep it sealed up tight. The less oxygen that gets in that bag, the better. Now, don't like vacuum seal it or anything crazy. That might not be good for it, but try to keep it as sealed as you can. Yeah, that'll be best. Matt Slater, I got 15 and I use 6 a lot. Exactly. There you go. Joe, no one ever uses all the balls we have. True. Rat Staten, if you can make me bowl 230, I need the Wizards' help. Ooh, easy. Put out a really, really easy house shot. Grab a asymmetrical pearl ball, and then just whack them. Best I got. John, I didn't know when it was posted, but I checked the USB-C survey. Yeah, it's in the conclusions. Yep. Yeah. Now, will they stick with that? A lot of people are kind of debating if they are or not. Joe, if I have a rotation of 6 to 8 and a spare ball, and a few others for tournament exclusive. Absolutely. There's a couple that are just house, a couple that are just sport. Like, I will never throw I really won't throw my Optimum Idol. Is that cracked? I thought my IQ was cracked for a minute. I don't think I'll ever throw my Optimum Idol solid on a house shot that often. Just not the play. Not the play. Yofa, I used to go to Vegas all the time. They went crazy with the resort fees. Oh, it was nuts. I mean, my room was like $60 and then there's $40 of resort fees that I never used. Like, the hotel was the same as any other hotel. Joe, I called my Max Thrill and Dark Side the CPR bag or life support. Love it. Larry Tripp just got my Cypher Pearl. Will use it a new week. Hey, let me know how it is. Don, I don't mind 2-handers. I score just as high as they do. Row, 16-pound Tropical Surge for 80 on Bowler Smart plus a $30 credit. If you need a really weak ball row, great option. Matt Slater, I'm not a fan of the drop a lot at the same time. I do like option like Storm did. I think Storm is finding their money spot where it's 2 bowling balls. You'll notice that they haven't released more than 2 bowling balls together in quite a while. They usually just do 2. Like, here's 2, Iron Pro Solid, High Road 40, Cove and Ember. We don't talk about the identity. What was before that? Hyperdrive, maybe? Hyperdrive and Wrecker, I think, came out at the same time. Something like that. But yeah, I think that's been working well. Let's see. Yofo, I moved to 2-handed because of wrist pain. Exactly. And there's a lot of pains that can come from bowling. And if you're not fit correctly, if your form's not working correctly, you can injure yourself pretty quick. Jack, hurt my heart there. The other side I know is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Ooh, I'm sorry. Dom, what type of player do you think would benefit from a Rockstar Phase 2? I think most people do because it is that middle of the bag ball. It fits smack dab in the middle of everything. All right, we are at about 8 o'clock, so we are going to do a last call on questions from everybody. Color, what's going on Twitch? How you doing? We're going to do a last call for everybody for questions that you guys have, and then we're going to call it a day. But remember, while you're typing out those questions, whatever you got, make sure to drop a follow or a subscription. Best way to help support the channel. Make sure to drop some likes on the video you're watching right now. Great way to help get it to other bowlers, especially if you're on YouTube. We're at about 43 likes right now. If you guys want to help out, just quickly hit that like button. Completely free. Doesn't affect your side in the slightest. It doesn't cause any weird effects or anything. It just ends up helping the stream get pushed to a couple of other bowlers out there. Did I get a follow out here? Chopper with the sub over on Twitch. Thank you so much, man. Welcome, Chopper. With a Prime subscription. If you are over on Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe so you get ad-free viewing over on the channel. Really appreciate that. But let's see. We'll get through a couple final questions here. Gabriel, thoughts on the IQ Emerald? I love it, but it's insanely overpriced now because it's so old. Jimmy, I start with the Reverb and end with the Supra GT or Venom Shock. The last two aren't strong. Correct, they are not. You might need something bigger if you want. Lethal Venom and Evoke Hysteria are going to be your best bets. For medium, yeah, those are going to be more medium to dry balls. The Supra or the Venom. If you need less, you're going to have to go to a Max Thrill or an Ascend. Bowling, I checked the JTBA website. 46 feet, 30 mils. What? That's what I was checking, and that ain't it, Chief. But if it's 46 feet, 30 mils, you have to play dead straight up like the gutter or play like 15 to 10. Jake, and you'll use a strong ASIM solid. Jake, wait, if Vegas is bad because less Canadians, does this mean all Canadians are gamblers? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Miguel, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Tariq, any opinion if Motive should buy another brand? They will never be able to. Never gonna happen. Motive will never purchase another brand. You will not see any acquisitions from any of the companies. I think there's literally 0% chance that any of the companies get bought out. The one that would be most likely is Motive getting bought out by Brunswick, because Motive and Brunswick are in the same place. They're literally both in Muskegon, Michigan. That would be the most likely. However, odds are next to 0. But no, otherwise, none of the others will get purchased. Jake, as a two-hander, the only people who annoy me are the people who barely hook the ball and just use strong stuff. Trig, cover stock preferred, 43-foot high oil wood lanes. Pearl. Definitely Pearl. Spitfire, Storm weak ball recommendation. Typhoon is the GOAT. Bowling, oh no, my weakness, playing straight. Thank you, sir. Hey, thank you, Jimmy, for hopping in. Really appreciate it. Spitfire, thank you for the follow over on TikTok as well. Color with all the lizards. Love it. Don, plus the bubblegum vibe is new. Yes. So one good thing to remember with all of this is a bowling ball is never truly done settling until about 2 years after it's poured. So new ball carry is big because the ball is going to be best right after it's poured. They just pour the ball and you go and throw it on a lane. That's when it's going to be the best it'll ever be. And it'll slowly keep getting worse. Unless it's urethane. Then it keeps getting better. But otherwise it keeps getting worse. Grand Marquis, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate it. Artists, I'm an older guy. I had one bad bowling experience where I got stuck in the ball and then had tendonitis in my wrist. And I've been bowling no thumb since I was 18. Hey, that's okay. That's perfect. That's the perfect reason to do that. Bowling, I'll ask Maribeth why you ghosted her. Oh no, she ghosted me. Hold on, I didn't ghost her. No. We ain't mixing this around. Hold on. Brad Statton, I have an Attention Star, Optimum Idol Pearl, Gremlin, Ion Max Phase 2, EJ Jackal. Yeah, an Ascent would fit really well there. Big B, good advice, Mr. Wizard. My league 1-2 punch is the Hysteria and the Star. There you go. Oh no, all good, Bowling, all good. Don, Motive buys swag? No. Pyramid barely exists. No one will buy Pyramid. Swag is made over in South Korea. I don't think anyone will buy that. I think if they were made somewhere closer to everybody else, then maybe, but they don't have enough market share. I don't think there's enough of a swag audience to actually cause somebody to want to buy them out. I think if you were any of the three major brands, you would just let them do their thing. They're not really, they don't really have enough big names. It's not worth it. Jack would love to see someone pick up Pyramid. It hasn't happened yet, so I don't think it ever will. Bowling companies don't have enough money for acquisitions. Like Brunswick buying EBI was only because EBI was bankrupt, because they were going to go under, is the only reason they purchased them. So they weren't trying to get a bigger market share. They just, Jack almost said Big Bowling. Big Bowling is now Big Dead. Big Bowling was a very unfortunate situation where COVID hit at the worst possible time for those guys, and they dumped a lot of money into Rhino Page and Marshall Kent. Those guys got a bag from Big Bowling. Bart, it would be very sad if Moda became part of Brunswick, and I'm saying that as someone who buys and throws SPI. It would, honestly. I would be very upset if there were not three brands. I was a bigger fan when we had the four main brands where EBI and Brunswick were split up. Three is not many, but it's tolerable. If we had two, it's over. GG's. Don, but Pyramid, do you have to change? Do you have change for a $5 bill? Pretty much. They haven't made, Pyramid doesn't make new equipment, which is interesting. I don't even know where they're poured or anything. I know so little about them. Quick last couple. B, what's your suggestion for stability at the end of my release? Don't muscle it. You're probably muscling it. Muscle will cause instability. Grand Marquis, what's your thoughts on Sub-Zero, Attention Star, 3D Offset, Hustle Glow, Anger Solid as an arsenal? Sub-Zero, that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You have a little bit of a gap between your Anger Solid and your 3D, along with your Hustle and your Star, but otherwise looks good. B, what's your suggestion? We hit that one. Lucian, any advice for me on bowling on US Open pattern number 3 from this year? I will look it up quick. 2025. That is 52 feet flat. Good luck. You're going to play up the gutter. Play up the one board with a really strong ball. That pattern sucks. Ooh, now every time I say last questions and I'm about to end it, everyone just floods, usually like all the time. Mike, my bowling house closed this year. I'm sorry for that. And yeah, never shoot good there. It's unfortunate. Ryan, is the Hypervenom still good? Yeah, Hypervenom still good. Jake, I forgot Pyramid exists. Me too, all the time. Iron Rage, good two-handed, top of the bag, Rev Dominant ball. Check out my Rev Dominant video. That'll help you out. Grand, what would you fill the gap with? You could go Phase 2. You could go Ember, Zen 25, something like that. Hog Rider, how do you recommend fingers to go in your grips for two-handed? Resting and all the way in. I usually prefer just one, just fingertip, just up to your first knuckle. Some people like second knuckle, though. It's really personal preference. B, do you think Supernova plays well with the new Gremlin? I think it'd be all right, yeah. Jake, 14 mile an hour, 300. So you're a little more balanced. Yeah, that's more balanced. Not bad, just balanced. Mo, first time here. Want to say I love your videos. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate it. And looking forward to getting my first ball. Go with a Hustle or a Raw or something like that will be best. Iron Rage, didn't know you made one. No, all good. Yeah, all good. And Yind, Rotogrip XL. It's okay. It was fine. It was a stronger bowling ball. It was good if you played a little straighter. But B, thoughts on it. All right, B, final question, man. You have peppered the questions in the last like 5 minutes. Infinite Physics. Yeah, I really like mine. I love the Infinite Physics. A good, strong, and smooth ball, but still a pearl. Still a pearl piece. No, all good. Don't worry. Yeah, House Hack. XL was really good for high revs. Let's see. Joe, have a good one. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Jason, did you ever get the overseas ball? I did not. I did not do it. Mr. Phil, are you going to put out a video for balance? Yes, I am. Don't worry about that. Should I have made the purple stronger? I think you'll be okay. It's a little weaker, but I think you'll still be fine. But with that, we're going to end it first of all on the TikTok side. TikTok, I want to give a huge thank you to you guys for helping us get to 20,000 followers. Massive, massive thank you. Thank you everybody who's been out there since the beginning, since whenever you guys ended up joining ZVL camp. Really, really appreciate it. We have a ton of amazing content coming. As you've noticed, the quality has gotten better and better over the last year and a half, and that's not ending anytime soon. So we're going to keep all that going. Huge thank you for the support. And if you guys have new ideas, new things that you want to see, because the channel is made for you guys. The channel isn't for me. The channel is for all of you guys out there. Please let me know. But otherwise, TikTok, we're going to call it on that. I will see you TikTok on the next one. Bye-bye. All right. And then we are stuck with you guys. The YouTube, the Twitch, the Facebook, all of y'all. I think we pretty much hit everything. So I want to give a huge thank you to you guys as well. We have a lot of really cool content. Tomorrow, we have a video for Coach the Coach. That is going to be with our friend Coach Ken. We talk about bowling balls, the full hour long. Other thing going on tomorrow, we are doing an interview at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Bowling with the FEF, F-E-F. We are going to be doing an interview. I'd really appreciate if you guys come out and say hi, help get some viewership a little bit his way. He's a smaller channel. He does a lot of interviews with some really big names, so it's going to be one of our first true interviews on the channel, which is kind of cool, but we'll be over on his channel. I will have a post out in our Discord. If you're not in our Discord, highly recommend joining it. It's a really fun place. We have a ton of bowlers talking everything and anything bowling. We have bowling form help if you want some free coaching. If you want to figure out what new ball you should get, that's the place to post it. You're going to get the quickest answers from all of the ZVL community. Really appreciate that if you check that out. But otherwise, we are going to have a lot of other content coming. We have a Coach the Coach. We have our giant layout video coming next week, 35 minutes on everything you need to know about bowling layouts. It's your one-stop shop. It's the first time in YouTube history there will be one video with all layout information in bowling. There are no videos like that on YouTube until next Sunday. That is when it's going to be dropping, 11 a.m. I think noon Central Time, actually. But I really appreciate if you guys come check us out tomorrow for that interview. If you want to hear a little bit more about I don't know what it's all going to be, in all honesty, what they're going to ask, but we'll find out together. But otherwise, want to thank you guys all so much. I will be ending it on that one. I will see you.